Thank you, Tari. Thank you, Vivian. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you, each and every one of you. Thank you, Nehemiah. I mean, this is not part of what I asked you guys to drop, but I'll take that one. I'll take that one. Okay, we're going to have a very, very good, interesting session today. Okay, we are going to have a very good, interesting session today. And before we jump into what we are going to have, please, if you know anybody that is going to benefit from this session, please feel free to share the link to this conversation with them. All right, your friends, your family members, even your enemies that you know that is going to benefit from this session that we are about to have, please feel free to share the link to this conversation with them so that they can join us immediately and be able to benefit from what we are going to be discussing this afternoon. And we're going to be talking about where to start when you have no clue about the best tech careers. Where do you start when you have no clue about the best tech careers? Now, I'm sure many of us on this call we've said a couple of things around this year is my year. I'm going to break into the tech ecosystem. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But do you actually know where you have to start? One of the major mistakes that every tech enthusiast make is choosing the right career path, getting themselves to the right career path without even losing their initial years of experience. So how do you start and make sure that you also finish strongly? Okay, so my name is Chukwemeka and I'm going to drive in us for this conversation. And I would also love to know you and also get to know where you are joining us from today. So feel free to drop your name and location of where you are joining us from so that we can get to know each other before we jump right into the conversation. Okay, so your name and location of where you are joining us from. Let's do a couple of introductions before we get started. Yes, Tari, the link to recorded version of this conversation is going to be shared. Okay. But as we proceed, my colleagues are going to drop an attendance form. And everyone that filled that attendance form, we're going to use it to share the link to the recorded version to every single one of them. Okay, so I'm still waiting to see our introduction. Ayodeji joining from United Kingdom. Welcome, Deji. I may not be able to pronounce your last name. Okay. Hi, Deji. Welcome. It's good to have you here. We'll have Henry also joining us from United Kingdom. It's good to have you here as well, Henry. Okay, it's like everybody's in UK today. Everyone on this conversation, they are all from United Kingdom today. I have Olumese from Canada. Fantastic. It's good to have you on the call, Olumese. I have Francis from Ghana, Vivian from UK, Samuel from UK, Godwin from UK. So we have three countries fully represented already: United Kingdom, Canada, and Ghana. Okay, fantastic. I also have Mokia. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Mokia from United States. That's four countries right now. And Samantha from Canada. That's five countries. Nobody's from Nigeria. I mean, we are all still in Morocco watching the semifinals. Is there nobody here from Nigeria? Because this is surprising. Nobody here is joining from Nigeria. Samantha, Canada as well. So we have Canada, US, UK, Ghana. Okay, we have four different countries existing on this call right now. Adeta, you're joining from Nigeria. Fantastic. Hi, Adeta. Congratulations on your country winning their quarterfinals against Algeria. We have Kingsley. We have Henry, also from United Kingdom. We have, okay, Meg is mentioning proudly Nigeria. Okay, that's nice. Kamga, joining from UK. Okay, and congratulations to everybody that their team has progressed to the semi-finals of the Africa Cup of Nations. I hope we are all enjoying the competition so far. I hope we are all enjoying it so far because myself, I'm Nigerian and I'm also enjoying it so far. Welcome to the call, Nehemiah, also from United Kingdom. Now, this is the beauty of sessions like this. You can see that we have people from UK, we have people from Ghana, we have people from Nigeria, we have people from Canada, we have people from United States. So we have five different countries already represented here. I think the last session I had last year, I had close to 12 different countries joining. And that shows you the impact that tech can actually give to you. It can be in Nigeria, you're connecting with somebody in the United Kingdom. It can be in Ghana, you're connecting with someone in Canada. It can be in Canada, you're connecting with someone in the US. And this is the beauty of the tech ecosystem. Now, let's instantly get started. I hope we are all excited for the conversation that we're about to get into. So today, we're going to be discussing where do you start when you have no clue about the best tech careers. Where do you start when you have no clue about the best tech careers? And who exactly is organizing this event today? So we are Analytics, and we are the leading education technology company that is helping people to break into several different career paths. And we'll be doing this for more than 5 years now, helping close to 2,900 people to move into the tech ecosystem across UK, US, Canada, Europe, Africa, and of course, Asia. And we do this just basically on 10 different courses: data science, cybersecurity, agile project management, and several others. But how exactly do we do this? So, you know how recruiters will always come out to mention, I need someone with so years of experience. So, what we do is we bring in experts from different walks of life, from McKinsey, from Microsoft, to come back to classroom to teach you using the real life project that they are working with. So what this means is that by virtue of you learning, you are working on an already existing project. So what this means is that you can comfortably be able to say, oh, while I was consulting with analytics, I worked on so and so projects. And these are the experiences that recruiters are always looking out for. Can check us out on Instagram at Tenalytics, Twitter, Tenalytics, LinkedIn, Tenalytics, and also our website at www.tenalytics.io. And who am I that I've been speaking to you for the last couple of minutes? My name is Chukwuemeka Ekpa, and I'm the CEO of Tenalytics. But before I assume the role of being a CEO here, I've worked in several different aspects of life. I started my career path in the hospitality space as a business growth consultant. Before I moved to the fintech as a data analyst, and then in that same fintech space, I grew to become head of control, then the banking sector as a GRC expert. But right now, I'm functioning as a talent development consultant across Africa and also Europe. I've worked in the financial service sector, I've worked in capital markets, I've worked in hospitality, but right now I am in the educational technology space. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn at Chukwuemeka Ekpa, or Twitter at Emeka_Heist, or Instagram at Emeka_Chooks. And we're going to personalize this conversation and be able to bring it home. Now, let's jump right into why we are here. I hope we are all ready. We are 50 on the call exactly. I hope we are all ready. We're all back from watching the FA Cup, watching the Cali Cup, watching the Africa Cup of Nations. The one that you are watching, I hope you are back and you're seated and ready to fly with me right now. If you're excited for us to start, please just drop a reaction so that I'll be sure that everybody is ready. Okay, just drop a reaction so that I'll be sure that we are all ready. Okay, Tari is here, Godwin is here, Samsung is here, Simon, Meg, they are all here. Fantastic. I have over 5 people that have communicated that they are available. Now, this is 2026. There's a way I always love to start my initial session for the year. Okay, the most important question I always ask people is just simple. Are you ready? I heard you mention that you even typed ready even before I reviewed my screen. Are you ready? Now, in this context, it's not ready for this session, but are you ready for the year? Are you ready for the year? And I was discussing with a friend last week, and she said something that got me thinking. Do we actually get ready for a year? Is there anything that you have to do for you to put things into place to prepare yourself for an amazing year? If you are looking to break into the tech ecosystem, are you ready to do that? You are looking to further and get your PhD, are you ready? You are looking to get settled down, are you ready? So all these things are questions that you have to ask yourself. It's just like someone that has to run on a track. You always hear on your marks, get set before they move. Now, coming on your marks is not sufficient for you to start. Okay, so someone is asking a question. That's Oyovri. Yeah, Oyo, the session is being recorded, okay? But my colleagues are going to drop the attendance form. Daniela Arafat, they'll drop the attendance form. And once we fill that the attendance form, everyone that filled it, we're going to share this slide and also the recorded version of this conversation with every single one of them. Okay, Daniela, just drop it now. So let's make sure we fill the attendance form, because that is where we are going to be using to send out the recorded version. Okay, let's get back to what I was talking about. I think someone dropped something that that's very interesting. It's hard for beginning. Christian, a fantastic question. It is hard for the beginning, and this is actually true. I'm going to use the context of our business right now, Analytics. Everyone is approaching everything heads on. Like there's a deadline, like there is a race, there is things that people need to achieve before tomorrow. That is what everybody is doing right now. Okay. But is that the right way to go about it? Now, in the context of being ready, you have to put some certain things in place for you to be ready for the next step of what you want to achieve. Okay. You want to break into tech. What course? Is it aligned to your own career path? Is it going to leverage your initial years of experience? Does it have opportunities when you are done? These are things that you have to research on to know whether you are actually ready to get started for that program. Okay? You want to start going to the gym. Which gym is closest to you? I asked our team lead a couple of days ago because he said, "Oh, he wants to start going to the gym this year." I asked him, "Okay, which gym is closest to you?" And he was not able to answer. So it translates to he's not yet ready to start going to the gym. So your own question is also this: are you ready to break into tech? If you are ready, trust me, there is a way. And I'm going to show you that way before we are done with this session this afternoon. Okay, so by the time that we are done with this conversation, you understand where to start. Okay, you are going to understand where to start. Number two, you are going to understand also different tech career paths that exist out there. Okay, you are going to understand the different tech career paths that also exist. And then number three, how to position yourself for the jobs. How do you position yourself for you to be able to land all those jobs? Okay, I was speaking at a TEDx last year, and there is something that got the entire audience interested. If you look at the World Economic Forum report, it mentions something around the 39% shift that's going to happen in 2026. And what does that 39% shift represent? It simply means that 39% of the skills that you need to perform the job that you are currently doing right now is going to change this year. Let's assume that you are an data analyst, and before you used to use different tools, let's say 10 different tools to achieve your goal. It is saying that come this 2026, 4 out of that 10 is going to go away, which means there is need for you to upskill yourself. And this cuts across all the different career paths out there. You're a pharmacist, you're a teacher, you are a surgeon, you're a medical doctor, any career path that you are in, that 39% shift is coming. It's not even that it's coming, it is already here. It is already here. So the most important question that you have to now ask yourself is, are you ready? And how do you start today? So if I ask us questions right now, do you think you can break into tech? What would the response be? All right, feel free to drop it in the comments. I love a very lively class. I'm going to call this a class. I love interactive sessions. Do you think that you, Ravi, you, Samantha, you on this call, do you think you are ready to break into tech? I Jimenson, yes. Benson, yes. Fantastic. I love what I am seeing. I love what I am seeing. So we have two people that think that they can break into tech. Samantha, yes. Okay. Samsung mentioned with your help, yes. Fantastic. Olume said, yes. Yes, I do media governance. So short thing, certainly fantastic. I love the positive thinking that we have on this session. Now, it is possible for everybody to break into the tech ecosystem, right? It is 100% possible. I studied civil engineering, did different things in life, but today I'm the CEO of a tech company. I didn't study computer science. I didn't do information security, nothing of that nature. My founder studied industrial chemistry. Today, he's a founder of a tech company. My co-founder studied economics. Today, he's also the co-founder and also multiple founders of different companies. Now, this is to show you that your initial background has little or nothing to you being able to break into tech. The question that you need to ask yourself is, how do you take the opportunity and be able to get into it from what you've been doing before now? Remember the topic that we're handling tonight. Remember the topic that we are having, which is, let me refresh our memory again, is simply where to start when you have no clue about the best tech career path. Where to start. Now, we're going to do a simulation, which I expect everyone on this call to also work with me. Now, this is Mrs. Teacher. We're going to call this lady Mrs. A. So Mrs. A is a teacher and he lives in Cameroon. Okay, Mrs. A is a teacher and he lives in Cameroon and she's looking to break into tech. And she's struggling to find which place can I get into that is going to give me something and allow me to be able to survive in this tech ecosystem from the initial things I've been doing. So what Mrs. A is going to look at is, while I was a teacher in Cameroon, what did I do? Identify the things that you did. So let's look at what Mrs. A did when she was a teacher in Cameroon. So this, let's call it past experience. So this represents Mrs. A past experience. Okay. Now, this past experience, what does it tell to? She's been able to look at, oh, while I was teaching in so and so school, I was able to interact with the students. Okay, I was able to interact with the students. This is person one. I was able to interact with the parents of these students. And also, I was able to interact with the management. So these several interactions that Mrs. A had while being a teacher in the context of tech, all these three different individuals are called stakeholders. So what Mrs. A is going to look at now is, I've done this interaction. What aspect of tech does this relate to? What aspect of tech does all these activities that I've done before now relate to? And she's going to look at, oh, these skills, the intersection point is what we call stakeholder management. Because you've been able to manage the students, you've been able to manage the parents, and you have also been able to manage the management team. So you've done what we call stakeholder management. That's the intersection point between that skill set from your past experience and the tech ecosystem, stakeholder management. So next thing that you now need to do is, what aspect of tech does stakeholder management relate to? And that is simply business analysis. So if Mrs. A, that used to be a teacher, is looking to break into tech right now, the easiest way for her to do it is to transition through business analysis. Now, when she gets into business analysis and learns it properly, she can still leverage her initial years of experience as a teacher, because while she was a teacher, she was performing some activities that relate to business analysis, which means she can still use all those years of experience as a teacher and mention that, oh, I have 4 or 5 years of experience as a business analyst. But remember, she is just transitioning to business analysis today. I don't know if what the picture I painted is clear to everyone. Is it clear, or do I need to repeat myself? Do we understand what I'm trying to explain? Do we understand what I'm trying to explain, or do I need to go again? Okay, okay, thank you, Tari, thank you, Vivian, thank you, Jovita, thank you, Ayo. Can you do example using a nurse? Fantastic, fantastic. I always get this question every single day. Of course, I'm going to do an example using a nurse. So let's go. I hope you are there, Musa. Hope you are there. Let me look for a blank sheet that I'm going to use for this. Okay, sorry, I may not be able to take 60 examples today, but just hang on. We have a quiz that's going to help you understand career paths for you. So next one I'm going to do is a nurse. Okay, so let's use nurse as an example. So this is nurse Tari. Tari, I hope you don't mind me using your name. This is nurse Tari. And nurse is looking to break into the tech ecosystem. Okay, so first thing the nurse have to also look at is, what have I done before now that also relates to the tech ecosystem? All right, let's even look at what you always do in the hospital. So first thing that you do when someone walks into the hospital is to try and find out, oh, Chukwemeka, what happened to you? All right, this is just a simulation. Oh, Chukwemeka, what happened to you? And we're trying to find out what happened. Now, let me write it down. You do what we call what happened, which is trying to find out what happened to this individual. And next step of what you are going to do is, after you've asked question of what happened, We're going to try and do what we call, why did this happen to me? Let's assume I'm having a headache. Oh, Chikongo, what happened to you? I'm having a headache. That's what happened. We're going to find out, oh, why did this happen to me? Why this happened to me? And this is you trying to find, oh, why this actually occurred to me. And after you found out what happened, they're going to now try and simulate the future by preventing it. Oh, Chukwemeka, take this paracetamol or take this Panadol or ibuprofen to quench your fever. So this is you now trying to solve the future. Sorry, are you still there? Are we all still following this conversation that we're having right now? Remember, we're using a nurse as an example. What happened? Why did this happen? And then trying to solve the future to prevent that headache from continuing. Now, this singular activity, what happened? In pure English, what you are trying to do is what we call descriptive analytics. Descriptive analytics, that is you doing what happened. Now, why did this happen? Is what we call, sounds like doing a lot of research. Why did this happen is what we call diagnostic analytics. Diagnostic analytics. And then trying to solve the future is what we now call predictive analytics. Now, what this simply represents in the tech ecosystem now, which aspect of tech handles descriptive diagnostic analytics? This is where data analysts come in. Now, which aspect of tech encompasses the entire three of them? That is where we have data science. So you can see that now, as a nurse looking to break into tech, those activities that you've performed simply simulate what data analysts and data scientists do. The difference is simply you are doing yours from the health aspect, which is why when you are a nurse right now and you understand data, you can easily be able to break into career paths called health informatics. Health informatics, lab analysts, pathological analysts, and several other roles, because you're now marrying your experience from the health with how you can actually be able to now do it with data. I don't know if this answers your question, Musa and also Tari. Does this answer your question? You can see how, you can see where the nurse intersects with the tech ecosystem. Please use a rate safety officer who has transitioned from being an enforcement officer to collecting reports for road traffic analysis to managing a number plate. Oh, sorry, this is a lot, but I'm going to try. Now, what we've also done is that we have a quiz that collects information that you can feed it and then analyze that same information and give you the career path that is meant for you. Okay, but I'm going to also try and do what Tari asked me, and then we're going to move on. Okay, now for every other person, there's a quiz that we have that once you feed the quiz icon with your different things that you've done, it can easily be able to recommend and tell you the career path in tech that easily aligns to you. But I'm going to take up Tari's last one because that seemed like a very, very strong challenge. Okay, let's look at it again. Tari mentioned road safety officer. Fantastic. So let me highlight it. Road safety officer. Now, as a road safety officer who transitioned from being an enforcement officer, fantastic, enforcement officer, I love that. So part of the things that you as a road safety officer did is enforcement. Enforcement, that's one. To collecting reports for road traffic analysis. Now you did what we call report collation. I'm trying to gather data points that I'm going to use to do this, report collation. And then for road traffic analysis, managing a number plate plant. Okay, so you also managed a process. Now, you can see the different aspect of things that I've been able to bring out from road safety officer. You did enforcement, You did report collation and you also managed a process. Please ignore my handwriting. You also managed a process. Now, in the context of enforcement, what are you actually trying to do? You are trying to enforce people to do certain things, okay? Or you are trying to also elicit information from people. Oh, hi, Chukwemeka, why did you beat the red line? Hi, Chukwemeka, why did you do this? Why did this happen? Why are you overspeeding? Why is this and so or so and so, right? So all these in context of tech, you are doing what we call elicitation method. Elicitation method. You are eliciting information. This is one. You also handled report collation. So this is actually very, very simple. And any reports that you are gathering tilt towards data. So simply put, this is data. And then, of course, you manage this entire process, managed process, which is management. Now, these three different umbrellas, where exactly do they fit in? Elicitation is an aspect of tech that belongs to business analysis. Business analysis. Okay? Because as a business analyst, you are constantly interacting with all stakeholders, trying to elicit information that you're going to use to improve the process. As an enforcement officer or road safety officer, you are trying to also elicit information from road users and then enforce and improve the process. Are you seeing the link, Tari? Are you still there? Are you seeing the link? So clearly, what you've done tilt towards business analysis from the enforcement aspect. So you have business analysis, which also has umbrella under data, because for you to be able to manage business, you need to also understand data. Okay. And of course, project management also is part of business analysis. There's an aspect of it that falls into it. And for you to manage these processes, how do you actually go about it? How do you plan projects? And this is all part of business analysis. So in clear terms, Tari, as a road safety officer, you have career paths that tilt towards business analysis. You've done elicitation method, you've done report collation, you've done process management. And all these are different aspects of business analysis. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Everyone on this call. So this is how you can easily be able to find how to break into this tech space. Okay, this is how you find the clue to how you can even start your tech journey. So if you are here and you have zero clue about how do I even go about this tech thing entirely, how do I go about this tech journey entirely? First thing is for you to sit down, look at what you've done before, and find a way to break into it. I'm going to give an example with myself. I started my career in the banking space. I started as a control officer before I moved to IT audit and compliance. Now, all these different things tilt towards cybersecurity, towards an aspect of cybersecurity called GRC, which is governance, risk, and compliance. So when I was looking to break into tech, it was easier for me to transition from GRC because that is where my own transferable skills were leading to. So I started my own tech journey from GRC and then coming back, going to data analytics, going to data business analysis, and several others. But my first touch point in the tech ecosystem was through cybersecurity. So that is how it should be for you. If you are looking to break into tech, first thing that you have to look for is what aspect of tech does my initial work experience tilt towards? You can see these practical steps for you to get started on this journey. First thing that you need to do is identify your target role. Okay, so this sounds like the 6 pillars of your tech career success. This is the point where I expect everybody to listen attentively. Number one is you need to identify your target role. Very, very important to identify your target role. And that is what we are trying to do right now. Because many of us struggle to break into tech because we are simply trying to transition from a place of, oh, my friend said that cybersecurity is the highest paying tech career path. That is where I want to get into. That is one of the highest mistakes you can make if you're looking to break into tech. Or you're hearing, oh, my friend mentioned that opportunities are now rampant in agile project management. That is one of the highest mistakes that you are also going to make because the easiest way is personalization. All right. You have to personalize it from a place of how does it relate to you, and then be able to now break into tech from that place. So identify your targets. We need to determine which tech role your initial experience takes. So I can see a question from Laura. Laura mentioned, hi, how can I integrate my professional experience in financial operations back off it with business analytics? If you can ease give me some example of job title or positions where I can optimize the transition. Okay, Laura, I'm going to touch on this. Just give me time, okay? I'm going to touch on this. It's part of what I have on this my slide, okay? I'm going to touch on it. So after you've done this first step of identifying your target role, next thing I expect you to now do is to educate yourself, okay? Educate yourself. Now, this is where some people make mistakes. Just like we've identified Tari as road safety officer, and we've seen that she has a career path towards business analysis. Next thing she needs to do is to educate herself on business analysis. Now, this is another step where people make mistake, where you've seen where your career path is tilting to, but instead of learning, you are going to run along and start branding yourself. I am a business analyst. Now, that transferable skill that you've identified in its singularity is not sufficient for you to now mention that you are this or that you are that, which means what you now need to do at that level is to educate yourself. You need to learn the skill properly and develop the capacity on that choosing pathway. Which, okay, I don't know if we're all following. First, identify your pathway, then educate yourself, which by virtue of education means that you need to have a learning partner. Then number three is when you are learning, how exactly is your learning process structured? How is your learning process structured? It has to be a structure that gives you project-based learning. Okay, it needs to give you a project-based learning. So what this means is that by virtue of you learning, you are working on real-life projects that you can always be able to refer to and say, oh, while I was consulting with analytics, I worked on this project. This is how you build up your experience level. Projects and also internship opportunities. How do you mention a couple of projects that you've worked? So it's not all about learning the skill, learning the tool alone. No, you need to know, how do I apply this skill on a business? And that is where project-based learning and internship comes in. Then employability skills, very, very vital. You've gone around the first aspect, which is choosing the career path, educating yourself, building a project, and having internship. Next aspect, this next quadrant is now speaking about your employability skills. One of the highest mistakes that tech guys make is when it comes to employability, we don't present ourselves well. Oh, I'm a good data scientist. My CV is still looking somehow. My LinkedIn is just empty. I don't even have good communication or interviewing skills. How exactly do you want to communicate? So after you've built this initial aspect of technicality, so I'm going to call this quadrant the T, okay? Why this other quadrant represents the E? You can see networking is the next one. How do you build your community? Okay, for instance, here in analytics, if we are looking to hire, we always look within the community. We always look within the community. Oh, someone came to us, I'm looking for a data scientist that lives in Bournemouth. And we are going to recommend someone from United Kingdom to them. I'm looking for someone in Ontario. And we're going to look inwards and also bring it to them. So networking is vital. If you joined earlier when we were doing introduction, we had people from Nigeria, we had people from Ghana, from UK, from Canada, from US, which represents more than five different countries. Okay, and in our community, there's over 25 different countries represented. Okay, over 25 different countries. Now, mentorship is also very, very vital because after you've learned all these things, you need to also know, how do I make sure I don't make the same mistake that my predecessors made? Okay, how do I understand what my mentors passed through so that I can also be able to build on their own experience level? So once you understand these 6 different steps, 6 different pillars for you to be able to break into tech, your journey is going to be swift. If you can see clearly, you notice something. This half represents T, while this half represents E. So it simply means technical skills and employability skills. Once you're able to marry both of them together, you'll have an amazing journey in the tech ecosystem. Are we all following? Are we all following to this very moment? Are we all following me to this very moment? I've just shared the nuggets, the 6 different pillars for your tech career success. First is for you to identify your target role, which I tried to do a simulation in the beginning, then educate yourself, gain project-based experience, then develop employability skills, network, and of course, have strong mentors. Once you're able to tie all these different things together, you are going to have an amazing tech journey. Now, I'm going to play a video of one past alumni. Okay, Emmanuel landed a role as a senior operations analyst in 6 months with Bank of America, right? And this was after he registered for the financial analytics program. One amazing thing that Emmanuel mentioned is that he was already in that space, but he was doing a linear activity. He wasn't doing anything technical, but he wanted to transition into tech. He got the skill and he transitioned from his immediate environment. Okay. And if you listen to Emmanuel, he's mentioned something that got me thinking. He said that the interview prep was the game changer for him. So these are all part of things that you're also going to be getting. Emmanuel lives in US. Okay, Emmanuel is in US. Vanessa is in France. Okay, and Tony is in Canada. And God is in United Kingdom. So what I try to do is to get people from different countries that pass through this program, and they have landed jobs. Okay, Vanessa, her own story was actually very amazing because it was through LinkedIn optimization that she was able to land a role. Okay, she studied electrical engineering in Cameroon, moved to France, and she didn't want to do anything menial because, you know, we all know how it always is when you are in Japa. She didn't want to do any of those things. So she got into data science and did her LinkedIn optimization. First thing that happened that got her surprised is that a recruiter reached out to her. She was scared to actually jump into it, but she was thinking, is this real? Is it not real? But in the end, she was able to get into it. Now, Toyin's story is also amazing. Toyin used to work as an aviation officer in Nigeria. Okay, she has a couple of years of experience. So when she moved to Canada, she was looking for a role that's also going to be amazing for her. She said that she tried different edtechs. Okay, but then when she got into analytics and passed through the Agile Project Management program, she landed a role as a project manager. Now, Toyin studied English as a first degree. Okay, Gad on his own, also he did data engineering. And after 2 months of joining, Gad was also able to land a job with full visa sponsorship. Now, all these things is to show you in practicality that it is possible, if you are still doubting, for you to move from where you are right now, break into tech, land a job, and get visa sponsorship. Okay? And we've shared how you can actually be able to do it. So quickly, let me play the recording of Emmanuel. Let me play the video of Emmanuel. I hope we are all still here. Let me play his video so that we can listen to what he had to say. It's not coming up. The sound is not here. Okay, just 1 minute, 1 second. I think there is no sound. I have to reshare my screen again so that the sound will be audible for everyone. But I hope we are all following. Are we following me to this very moment? Are we all following? Are we following? Can't see any reaction. Does it mean that people have lost me? Have we lost? Okay, thank you, AJ. Thank you, Blessing. All right, I think my screen should be back up now. Okay, let me try to play the sound again.
Hello, my name is Emmanuel Adeyemi, and I first found out about Tenalytics on social media. In Insight, it's a full supplement because I watched the testimonials of others about the program, how it had helped them successfully transition into the tech space. So intrigued by their story, I decided to check it out myself. And eventually I registered for the financial analytics program. That's the course 12. And from day one, my experience with Blessed and a few other program coordinators was just outstanding. Blessed was incredibly supportive, organized, and just generally cared about each student's progress. Also, the facilitators on the program were equally impressive. They were very knowledgeable, approachable. They had like real life projects and problems you could work on. And always they were ready to go the extra mile to ensure that the concepts they were teaching away, very and clearly understood by every single person. The classes and projects were challenging. They were educating and very rewarding. Every module was practical and they were tied to real world scenarios, which helped me apply what I was learning immediately. And also, I had a chance to work on group projects, and that also taught me how to collaborate effectively with other people, just like in a real work environment. So I also appreciated the self-paced learning models and the watch me do it videos. This helped make sure that, time zone was not a constraint, as you get access to, the learning modules all the time. The extra sessions during the program also, like the drop-in sessions, the mentorship calls, the CV review sessions, the interview preps, those were game changers for me. They provided clarity, they provided direction and confidence that I needed, to face any interview during my search. So personally for me, I secured my current role just 6 months after completing the program. And I can confidently tell you and say that, Tenalytics played a very key role in me attaining this success. From polishing my technical skills to helping me articulate my experience during interviews, their guidance also made the journey very smooth for me. Even with prayers, they will back you up with prayers. They'll tell you, hey, we can't wait to, hear of your success stories. And I remember one of my facilitators, said during one of the classes that to aim higher for, senior roles, just because the quality of the lessons that we were getting in class. And that advice, just stuck with me, because there were several roles, that I could have applied for. But this very one I got, right now, I'm employed as a senior operations consultant, earning 6 figures, on my current job with one of the top tier banks in the US. This wouldn't have been possible if I didn't get, to sit down and learn from some of the best people in the industry. Overall, my advice is you won't go for Tenalytics, so I'll just say do it. The program is very quality. It's worth every single penny. It's a great investment in yourself, to build and upskill yourself, and also, for your future, journey into tech. And I'll leave on this note, Tenalytics has helped shape my life, and that's why I can give this testimonial. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I was also watching the videos on one of the testimonials just like this, and that got me to the program. And here I am sharing my testimony as well. So if you want to plug in, I'll say go for it, do it, and you never regret that you did.
All right, fantastic. I hope we all heard what Emmanuel had to say. Okay, so Emmanuel from his own side also watched a video like this, and that was how he got into the program. And as of today, he's working as a senior operations analyst in one of the big banks in the United States. So all these things are possible, like I mentioned, and it doesn't actually matter where you are joining from. Okay, like I said earlier, Emmanuel is in US, Vanessa is in France, Tony is in Canada, and Gad is in the United Kingdom. So this is to show you that it is all possible in all these different places. Whether you are in Nigeria, whether you are in Ghana, whether you're in South Africa, it is all the same formula. Tech a global, is a global language. Okay, someone that if you are a data scientist in Nigeria, it is still data science in Ivory Coast. If you're a data scientist in Canada, it is still data scientist in Australia. Okay, so it is not like law or like medicine that you have to now get a different license to practice. It is the same skill, it is the same language that everyone speaks. And that's why remote opportunities always exist for these career paths because you can be in Nigeria so far as you understand how to use the tool and still do the same thing that the person in Australia is also doing. Okay, now this is just a couple of success stories. If you heard what Emmanuel said that he listened to a success story like this, and that was how he plugged in. And today, you are listening to his own success story. So I hope by the time that I'm coming back for this session, let's say in 3 months' time, I'm going to have a success story from someone on this call, also playing it for people to be able to see the possibility of breaking into tech. Now, the main question I want you to actually ask is, but how were these guys able to get to that point? How were they able to move from where they were into landing these jobs? Like I showed us, that 6 pillars of your journey in tech, it can be summarized under 3. Okay, number 1 is learning. Okay, learning. So after you've identified that career path that you want to break into, first thing that you have to do now is to learn. Okay, and then number 2 thing is for you to now package yourself. Packaging is very, very important. I know many of us are going to say on this call, oh, LinkedIn is cringe. We have something that we are looking for, so we can't be introverted. We can't just lay low and say that, oh, LinkedIn is cringe, I can't be here. Whereas we are looking for a job. It can't work. Okay? We can't be saying, oh, I want to land multiple roles, but then you are not willing to network. Okay, so it can't work. So after you are done learning the skill, next thing that we do is to package you. Package you from CV optimization to LinkedIn optimization to having a portfolio to mentorship to even preparing you for interviews and present you with job references and recommendation letters. Because these are things that recruiters also want to see aside that technical skill that you have. They also have that desire to know, can this person actually hold their fort when it comes to communication? So it's very important that we also don't remove this. Then lastly is applying to the job. Okay, applying to the job. One major mistake that we all make also is we do easy apply, go to LinkedIn, do easy apply, easy apply, easy apply. It cannot work. There is this need for you to tailor your CV down to the specific job that you are going for and then apply to it. I know it is work, but that is what differentiates you from that lazy applier. The person that is doing application lazily, that is what differentiates you from them. And that is what gives you that upper hand. Can recommendation letters from a different country suit a job in a different country? Fantastic question, Tari. Fantastic question. Now, my slide is still going to answer that question. Please just hang on so that I don't digress. So once you are able to have these initial things I've mentioned, learn, package, apply, is going to definitely lead you to this last thing, which is you got the job. Like I said earlier, mistakes that we make is that you've identified that you have transferable skill to business analysis and you are going to ignore learning and jump into packaging yourself and starting to apply jobs. All tech roles, there's always a stage called assessment stage. So you're going to be assessed for them to check, oh, you said you know how to use Power BI. Use Power BI to do this. Oh, you said you know how to use Python. Use Python to do this. Oh, you're a project manager. Please, can you walk us through how you use Jira to handle project management? So all these things are going to be assessed. So do not ignore that learning stage. Okay, this is the same thing that Judith also passed through. Judith used to be a HR back in Nigeria. When she moved to United Kingdom, she was a carer. But when she came to us in 2024 and said, oh, I want to break into tech. So she enrolled for business analysis. She was also packaged and she applied to several roles. Okay, now Judith landed a role in US while she was in United Kingdom. less than 4 months into the after completing the program. Okay, she landed a business analytics role in the US, working remotely from Huddersfield, United Kingdom. So, or you can click here to also watch what she had to say. So, please, for everyone, please let's make sure we fill the attendance form. It's very, very important because that attendance form is what we are going to be using to send the slide and recorded version of this conversation to you. You can see all those success stories that I was not able to play. When you get the slide, just simply click the place I have, click here, and you can easily be able to watch every single one of them. Okay, my colleague Arafat just dropped it in the comment section. Please let's make sure that we fill that attendance form. Now, when you are learning, how exactly are you going to learn? What's the guarantee for slow learners? I'm going to answer all these questions, starting. Okay, now how you are going to learn is this. Even before you choose a career path, I want to walk us through the thought process on how we selected this career path. What we do every quarter is to look at different job boards. Oh, what's the highest number of jobs that these guys posted? On LinkedIn, on Indeed, on Glassdoor, Google Jobs, every single way. We scrape them, we identify all the jobs that they posted that quarter. And then we're looking for the one that had the highest number of postings. Now, after identifying them, we now pass it through what we call the WEF validation, which gives you the global view. Okay, then WEF stands for World Economic Forum reports. Okay, World Economic Forum rather. So every year, world leaders come together to look at the future of jobs, to mention, oh, this is where the economy is tilting, this is what's happening, and try to say, okay, this career path is going to grow, this career path is going to decline. So we are passing all those jobs that we've selected from all the job boards through this validation to know, are they going to be relevant in the next coming years? Okay, are they going to be relevant in the next coming years? And after that validation, we're now looking at the regional analysis. In United Kingdom, can that career path get you a skilled worker visa? Right? In United States, can it give you, is it amongst the jobs with the highest H1B acceptance rates? If you're in UK right now, you're going to notice that before now, with a job of RQF of level 3, you can land a visa sponsorship role. But it has increased to RQF of level 6, which means if you are shooting for a career path, that career path needs to meet that requirement. Okay, and also in Canada, is it amongst the job with the highest provincial nominees out there? So these are all the considerations that we will have to put into place to arrive at these 10 different career paths. And they include business analysis, data analytics, data science, data engineering, agile product management, which is also the Scrum Master, cybersecurity, HR analytics, financial analysis, and DevOps engineering, as well as product design. So these 10 different career paths are going to give you all these things that I've mentioned now. The question now is, which one of them should you get into? Which one of them should you get into? And we're going to do that quiz in the next 2 minutes. But before then, if you look at the World Economic Forum reports on a broader scale, what it mentioned is that in the next 5 years, 170 million jobs are going to be created. And why this creation is happening, 92 million jobs are going to disappear. All right, 92 million jobs are going to disappear. What you want to make sure is that your job is not amongst the ones that are going to disappear. Okay, now, if you go deeper in the World Economic Forum report, this is a screenshot from it. You're going to see the fastest growing career paths as of today. I hope we are all still following me. I hope we are all still here because these segments are very, very important. I know we have questions. I'm going to answer every single one of them with time. And I'm also going to give time for us to ask questions. But first, let me try and finish everything that we have. Now, these are the fastest growing career paths according to the WEF report. Number one is the big data specialist. In fact, this is for 2025. As at 19th of this month, we're expecting another version. But let me walk us through what always happened. In 2024, the fastest growing career path as of then was AI and machine learning specialists. So all this AI boom that we are seeing or hearing about in 2026, when the career path grew, started from 2024. That was when it was the number one fastest growing career path. But after those advancements in AI and machine learning, there was need for someone that would be able to process that data, analyze that data, store that data. And it gave rise that in 2025, big data specialists became the number one fastest growing career path. So two of them interchanged. Now, what this simply transcends to is that every single one of these career paths are always interrelated to each other's success. Because I know some of us are going to now start saying, oh, big data specialist is the number one. That's the one I want to get into. Okay, tomorrow it can switch up and become AI and machine learning. And after all these things, it validates that data engineers are going to be relevant in the next coming years. Okay, now it's now going back to also validate that data scientists and data analysts are also going to be relevant. Now, after these data guys are there, someone needs to also needs to protect the system. Okay, and that gave rise to the cybersecurity guys also being relevant. And after the system has been protected, someone needs to be able to optimize the processes that we have and make it better. And then it gave rise to the business analyst. Okay, and then inside the business, we also need to be able to design other products that we need to bring to the market. And it gave rise to product designers still being valid. Okay, and then someone needs to design the system. Someone needs to develop all those softwares that are going to be needed. And that is where DevOps engineers also come in. Now, there's HR that needs to bring all these people together, organize the company itself, make sure that people are constantly also optimizing. It gave rise to the need for HR managers. So are we seeing how all these career paths, those 10 of them, how every single one of them are interrelated? Now, if you go to the next page, you're going to be seeing agile project managers, also HR analysts and financial guys, also validating that they are very much needed. Now, let's have a look at these guys on this right-hand side. So on the left-hand side of this my screen, we have the jobs that are going to grow. So every single career path here, they are on the rise. The ones on the right are all career paths that are on decline. So here as well, all the career paths here, they are on the rise, and the ones here, they are declining. Are we not seeing something from the guys that are declining? Postal service clerk, bank tellers, data entry, cashier guys, and administrative assistants, trade workers, accounting, bookkeeping, and payroll clerks. So any activity that you're doing that is repetitive, that can be learned by the system, is at the risk of being declining. Okay, in fact, when I saw graphic designers here, it got me thinking, how exactly are graphic designers here? But if you notice what's happening right now in the social space, if you go to LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and other places, most of the images that you see, they are all AI generated. In fact, even my own DP that I'm using to even show myself is also artificial intelligence generated. Okay, so and if you see the picture, trust me, this is exactly how I look in real life. The only difference is just I said, remove what I'm wearing and wear me a different suit. That is simply what I did. And everything was still the same, and I just changed my clothes. And all these simple prompts that we are all doing that we think, oh, this is just prompting, it's affecting people's career. I know sometimes we refuse to agree to these things, but it's affecting people's career. And all these things that can now be generated made graphic design to actually be declining. So what will a graphic designer do today if they want to improve their own tech career path? It's simple. As a graphic designer, you have understanding of visual communication. All right? So what you have to ask yourself is, what aspect of tech can visual communication tilt into? That is where you now upskill yourself to product design. So instead of just balancing as a graphic designer, you've upskilled that you're no more creating just graphics. You've grown that you can now develop products for businesses. You understand the marriage between user experience, user interface, and of course the business process. which is what product design is all about, understanding that marriage. So graphic designer is now moving to become a product design. So every single thing that you're doing as of today, trust me, there's a place for you in tech. All you have to do is to find the transferable skill. So all these guys on this right-hand side, I may not be the bearer of bad news, but our jobs are at stake. I told you, all of us, I used to be a compliance officer when I was in the banking sector, control compliance audits. I transitioned to GRC, which is governance, risk, and compliance. And from there, I moved into cybersecurity straight. So what you have to do is to find that plug, that single transferable skill that is going to bring you into the tech ecosystem. Okay? And that is what we're going to do right now. How do you find out the career path meant for you? Okay, so we developed a quiz in-house where you can simply take a assessment and it's going to look at things that you've done, things that you are currently enjoying, and it's going to recommend a tech career path for you. So please, my colleagues are going to drop the link in the comment section. All you have to do is to click on it and it's going to bring you to this page. So let's all take it together so that we can understand how it works. Okay, let's all take it together. Once you get into it, all you have to do is simply click on let's go. Okay, let's go. I hope we are all going together because I may not be able to take every close to 100 people trying to understand our different experiences, but we've developed a simple process for every single person to be able to partake from it. So let's go. Okay, so first thing is for me to please shed more light on software project management. I'm going to still explain every single career path that you see on this page. I will explain every single one of them. Hang on for me, okay? I'm taking us on a journey, okay? I'm taking us on a journey. So once you get into the page, what you have to do is put your name, email address, phone number, and simply check the box, Chukwemeka at tenanalytics.io. Just check the box and then continue. Okay? So it's important so that I can be able to personalize your information. You can see the first question it's asking is, what's your current job situation? You can see first one is, I take care of people, nurse, caregiver, healthcare. I deal with customers, clients, retail service admin. I teach or train people. I mean, that's my specialty now. I work with money, that's finance, accounting, banking. I fix tech problems or work in IT. I'm in marketing, sales, or operation. Difficulty loading the page. Sorry, I'm sure it is your internet. Okay, so you may want to use a different network provider so they can actually be able to access it. Okay, so answer the questions as it suits to you. Okay, make sure you personalize it as it translates to you. Please do not respond like you're answering for your spouse or for your child. Answer it for yourself. So I'm going to move a little bit fast. So I'm going to just select multiple. It's a Sunday afternoon. What am I most likely to be doing? Okay, so I'm just going to be selecting multiple. But for you, please answer, read it through and answer. Your boss asks, why isn't this working? What are you going to do? Okay, me, I'm a numbers guy. I believe in data. So I'm going to tilt towards that. Excel, Google Sheet, what's your vibe? Also answer as it suits you. Okay, so I'm going to be answering randomly. I'm going to be answering randomly so that I can finish fast. All right, but for you, please make sure you answer accordingly. So once you are done, what matters to me right now, money, flexibility, leadership, security, meaning, learning, or stability. What really matters to me right now? Well, I'm not going to lie. Let me go for I want future-proof skills. Okay, what legacy do you want to leave at the company? Also answer it accordingly. Now, in the end, it's going to ask you, forget logic. Which title just feels right for you? Which title just feels right for you? So just select it. And even if none of them make sense, you can see in the end, it's saying, honestly, I am still confused. So I'm going to select that. I'll select that and simply click on tap here. So what I tap here is going to run that internal simulation and give me my response. You can see my own is tilting towards cybersecurity. I'm the guardian, I'm the vigilant, I'm the skeptical, and wired to defend every single one of your system that is out there. Okay, so you can see it has given me the career path that's meant for me. And if there are some people that your own might be confusing and it's going to tell you, oh, you need to speak to us personally because maybe there are several things clashing, and then you can easily be able to click here to speak with a career coach. It's entirely free. Okay. And even if you select or you have a career path already selected for you and you still want to have a conversations around it, simply click on this. I want to speak to a career coach, right? And it's going to bring you to our calendar link where you can select a time of your choice that I want to use to speak our career coach. Two amazing people that are far better than myself speaking to you to identify the career path that is best for you. Okay, I've clicked on it. Maybe on Monday, that's when I want to go for it. You can say I've selected 12th, which is Monday. I can go for 9 a.m. what, 12 a.m. what, 12 noon rather, 3 p.m. what, or 8 p.m. what. Select anyone that works for you and then, book that clarity session. It's entirely free. Now, these are things that we do for the community. Okay, it is entirely free. You don't have to feel, oh, do I have to pay for me to speak to someone? No, it is entirely free. So how many of us have gotten our own results now? Just drop it in the comment section. Let me see the career path that majority of people here are tilting towards. If you're just joining us, you can also scan the barcode on my screen and it's going to take you to that same career, to that same link. Can this be done later via my network? Is really bad. Yes, Tari, it can be done later. It can be done later. Please make sure that you fill the attendance form so that you get the slide. And when you get the slide, you can just click on this page and it's going to take you to that link. Or you can scan the barcode and it's going to take you to that link. Okay, it's very, very important that you fill the attendance form. So how many of us have taken the quiz and we have a career path in pipeline? How many of us have done that? Let me see. Oh, nobody has been following me all this while. Nobody has been following me all this while. Nobody has been following me all this while. If you are done with your own quiz, please feel free to drop. Okay, watch quiz still on this. I've done the quiz. Musa, what's your own career path tilting towards? Just give. It's not something personal. Just drop it in the comment section so that we also understand and know before we move on. Okay. Let me see people that have a career path with data science. Fantastic. Musa is tilting towards data science, and I think I've signed up. I've done it. That's Donatus. Olada, you're tilting towards data analytics. Raji mentioned done. Where are you tilting towards? I can't find the link. Please, guys, let's drop the link for Stella. Take note that her network is very low. Ravi, okay, business analysis, fantastic. Donatus, data analytics, and Olumese, cyber security, fantastic. Precious is tilting towards DevOps. Precious, you must be special. Don't mind me, everybody's special. Precious is tilting towards DevOps. Stella is full stack data science. I mean, on this call, you guys can connect with each other and be able to pursue your own tech journey the same. Now, you've scaled that first level of understanding the career path that is meant for you. Remember what I said earlier? This is the first level. Now, someone can get... Okay, let me put this disclaimer out there. Let's assume that you got data analytics or you got agile project management, but you want to break into cybersecurity. It is possible, okay? It is possible for you to do it. But the difference is that you are not going to leverage your initial years of experience. Because what this quiz takes into consideration is what you've done before and finding a career path into it in tech. So if you ignore it and go to a different place, you can break into there, but you're not going to leverage your initial years of experience. And it's going to take longer for you to be able to get in. So these are the reasons why people have longer tech transition journey, because you are getting to a pathway where you do not have any transferable skills from. So it is possible if it is what you desire, just that it is going to be longer. I hope that clarifies for people that maybe they are getting something else and they have a different place that they have in mind. You can still go to where you have in mind, just that two things are involved. You are going to drop your initial years of experience, it's going to require you to put a lot of effort into breaking into that new space. Okay, which means it's going to take you longer. All right, now that this has been taken out of the way, how exactly are you going to be learning? So when you join with us, how will you be learning? If you heard when Emmanuel was speaking, we have live interactive classes as well as self-paced classes. So the same way we are conversing, we're having this class, master class right now, that is how your class also will be structured, that you can easily be able to interact with your facilitator. Okay, now it's a smaller class than this. It's not as big as this. So you're going to have 20 people, 10 people, depending. Okay, you're going to have just that number in your class. Now, this simply means that you have the opportunity to raise your hand at any point. Oh, Chukwemeka, I do not understand what you just mentioned about this. And Chukwemeka is going to rewind and walk you through it. Okay, and there's also self-paced learning materials where you have the opportunity to go through the self-paced aspects. Now, I always love showing the financials last after people have selected their career paths so that we don't make the mistake of choosing a career path based on average earning power. For instance, right now, we are seeing the average earning income for a data analyst right now, which in UK is around £47,000, Canada around $64,000, US around $72,000. Okay, we are seeing the average earning power for a cybersecurity guy. We are seeing UK 57,000, Canada around 140,000, and then US around 105. And because you've seen this now, you're going to say, oh, I don't want to go for data analytics anymore. I want to go for cybersecurity. No, don't make that mistake. Okay, now I have a question also. Is that senior role? Is the average role for entry guys? Average role. Okay, so some people earn, for instance, in data analytics, there are people that earn as high as 80,000. There are people that earn as low as 20,000. But the average is what we are showing right now. Okay, now all this career path also depends on the sector of the economy that you find yourself. Okay, and the beauty of every single career path here is that every single one here can work in all sectors of the economy. So I have a question for us now. A data analyst in oil and gas and a cybersecurity analyst, let's say, in government office, who do you think is going to earn higher with regards to monthly or weekly income? Data analyst in oil and gas or cybersecurity in government office? Who do you think is going to earn higher? Sari mentioned oil and gas, pina colada. Is that not a name of drink? Is that not the name of a drink? It just, oh my God. Everybody's mentioning oil and gas, oil and gas. Fantastic. And that's the beauty of tech, really. Because every single one of them, a business analyst can work in oil and gas. He can work in government parastatal. He can work in financial service. He can work in fintech. He can work in edtech. Can work in agri-tech. Can work in health. And that is what happens with every single one of them. So what I always advise people to do is get this skill first and then pursue it in the sector of the economy that you desire. Now, that pursuit is now depending on how far you can run. It depends on how far you can run. Our highest employer of labor here is NHS because most of our clients come from the United Kingdom. So most time, many of them, go back to the health space. And the reason is simple. They provide visa sponsorship. Okay, so all these things are things that you have to also put into consideration without considering the financials. But what I want us to note is that no matter any of them that you go into, for instance, if you're in United Kingdom as at today, I know the minimum that you need to have for you to be sponsored is roughly around 41,000. Yeah, 41,000. I think 41,700 for you to be sponsored. Before it used to be around 37,800 before this whole immigration changes. And what you're going to realize is that every single one of these career paths, they are all above the minimum income that you need to have for it to be sponsored. So what it simply means is that ignore the financials now and pursue the one that relates to your own career path. Now, I'm done talking about learning. Packaging now, how do you package yourself? It is always competence over credential. Now, many people are going to come to you and mention, oh, I am Chukwuemeka. I have a master's degree from University of Hull. Um, I mean, to what extent? What have you done? So what people are always looking for is what skill and experience are you coming with? In fact, Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, last year mentioned that if you are a hardcore software engineer and you want to build everything up, please join us by sending your best work to code@x.com. We don't care where you went to school or even whether you went to school or what big name company you worked at. Just show us your code. So what this translates into is that the era of certification is over. If you are coming out to just mention, oh, I have a degree from Oxford University and my master's from Cambridge University, nobody cares. What have you done? What's the skill you are coming with? What's the experience that you are coming with? Okay, and these are things that recruiters are always looking out for. I was working in a fintech industry before, and my CTO as at then, this guy didn't have any university degree. He didn't have any university degree. And he's our CTO because after college, he started writing codes, started growing in the tech ecosystem. And before you know it, he's the CTO of a big fintech. It was, I think, after like 3, 4 years, he decided to go back and do diploma and got a degree. And he just did it for the sake of it. Not that it's going to even impact in what he's trying to build. So most time, all these things are validation of a knowledge that you have. So this is something that happened to Hope. Hope is already a certified project manager, but she didn't know how to use any tool with regards to project management. So when she came to us in September last year, and she joined Agile Project Management in December, she landed a role as a project analyst with Viessmann in Waterloo, Ontario. So all these things are possible. Then packaging is very, very important. Please let's listen attentively. When you are packaging yourself, first question that you're going to always be asked is, what have you done? What experience are you coming with? So I'm going to show us portfolio of a past student. So when you get this slide, simply click on any of these links here. It's going to bring you here. So this is the portfolio of one of our past students, Victoria Uchemado. So if you scroll down, you're going to see what Victoria was able to do. When she was consulting with us, because we don't call our learners, you are a consultant because you are working on a real life project. When she was consulting with us, she worked on deep care hospital ER visit analysis. This is one. She worked on Redox airline flight analysis. 2. She worked on Express Tech food delivery service. 3. She worked on Zenith Electronics. 4. And Nesu product analysis. 5. Now, if you look at it from the context of sectors of the economy, Nesu is in FMCG, Zenith Electronics is in the technology space, Express Tech is in supply chain, Redox Airline is in aviation. Now, last one, Deep Care Hospital is in the health space. And if you click on any one of them, it's going to bring you to see the actual projects that Victoria actually did, that she can always be able to talk you through and be able to walk anyone that wants to hear on what she's been able to do in the past. Now, I have a question for you. Do you think if Victoria goes for an interview and she mentioned, oh, while I was consulting with analytics, I worked on a project from the aviation space, I've worked in the health space, I've consulted for a company that also exists in supply chain, I've done something for a business in the tech space, and you're coming to say, oh, my name is Chukwuemeka, and I have a master's degree from University of Hull. Whom do you think they're going to employ? Victoria mentioning the different sectors of the economy that she has consulted for, or me that is going to say, I just have a master's degree from University of Hull. Whom do you think they're going to employ? This is a question for every single one of us. Whom do you think they're going to employ? Fast. Who do we think that they are going to employ? Victoria or myself? Fantastic. I'm sorry to mention Victoria. Okay. And if you think it's myself, that is also valid. Okay. That is also valid. But in context, all HR are going to tilt towards Victoria. There's no two ways about it. And when you explain some of these things that you've done, you're also going to explain it from the context of what we are going to teach you. For instance, let me use this health data as an example. Okay, you've gone for an interview, they've asked you a question. Oh, hi, Chukwemeka, tell me about a time when you were working on a project in the health space and how you were able to solve it. So, first of all, you're going to mention, oh, while I was consulting with analytics, I worked on this ER hospital business analysis, and I noticed one major problem, which is the average waiting time for our patients. So, in Q1, I was able to do this, do that, do this, and then in Q2, we started tracking again. Before then, our average waiting minute time was around 35 minutes. I used Power BI Tableau to analyze this, do this one, do that one. And then in Q2, when we analyzed it again, we realized that our average waiting time was now 25 minutes. So this reduction in average waiting time increased our turnover, which in return improved our revenue. There is no how you are going to speak like this, Tari or Samantha or anybody on this call, that the recruiter is not going to know that you have worked on a real life project. There is no how. So how you communicate all this is also very, very important, which is why after your packaging, after your portfolio, 2 months after you've joined the program, we are going to personally work on your CV. So what we expect from you to do is to provide us with a prototype, and then we're going to work on it and provide it back to you. Then also work you through LinkedIn optimization for you to be visible out there. How do you stay visible? How do recruiters actually see you? When we go to the slide, let's try and listen to the success story of Vanessa. Vanessa landed a job through LinkedIn optimization without applying for a job at all. At first, and she lives in France. At first, she thought it was a joke, but in the end, it was real. Then navigating the job market is part of the packages that you're going to be getting. So, because what we do is we bring in experts from different regions to also walk you through how do you navigate the job market. Then interview prep session. How do you answer questions, situation-based questions using the STAR framework, which I just did while explaining that interview. It stands for situation, task, action, and results. Situation is, oh, while I was consulting with analytics, task is the projects that you're working on. Action is the tools that you use. Result is what did it translate to. So we're going to teach you how to be able to use all these things. Okay. And then job references, very, very vital. I know someone mentioned, oh, can we use a reference letter from a company in a different region? Yes, you can. Okay. Yes. In the tech ecosystem, yes, you can. And I'm still going to explain all this. In the context of Analytics, we are working with two businesses. Analytics, fully registered in Canada, and Amdare, also registered in United Kingdom. And you have opportunity to get reference letter from every single one of them. So this gives you that leverage that you're looking for. Okay, and on the job support, you've landed a job, you are struggling. I mean, most of our students do not come for this one because there's no how you're going to spend time with us judiciously and struggle on the job. Well, if you do struggle, we are also available to support you. Then weekly mentorship sessions and then Upwork session. How do you utilize Upwork to improve and land a job, $50 here, £50 here, €50 here, 50 cities here, depending on your own country. So all these are part of the packages that you are going to be getting. And it's entirely for 8 months. So our program is for 8 months. 6 months classroom learning, where you are going to be learning that exact course with Analytics. And then 2 months internship with Amdare. Okay. Now, I know you're going to say, oh, does it mean I have to wait for 8 months before I land a job? The answer is no. And that's why after 2 months of you joining, we are going to work on your CV and then present you with a CV that we expect to start applying to jobs with. Now, some people land a job 2 months after joining, some land 3 months after, some land 4 months after joining, some even land after the entire 8 months, 2 months after. So it's now depending on how judiciously that you are applying. But what does this mean to you? It means that you have the unique opportunity of including 2 leading tech companies in Canada and in United Kingdom on your CV. And these are things, these are experiences that recruiters also always want to have. Oh, while I was consulting with Analytics, I did this. Oh, while I was interning with Amdari, I did that. Can we add Upwork freelance gigs on our CV? Yes, you can. Okay, it depends on also how you brand it. One mistake that people always make is going to mention, oh, I'm an Upwork freelancer. No, brand it very well, package it very well. So you can call it data analytics consultant. All right. I hope you are following Samadin, data analytics consultant, or depending on what you are freelancing on Upwork, project management consultant. Okay. Cybersecurity consultants. Don't go there and put Upwork as a skill. No. Make it as a consultant. Okay. And these are things that you are going to be taught within the program. Now, when it comes to applying to job, I've touched on learn, I've touched on package. The last one is applying. This is where we drop the ball. And I'm going to give us data. So what we expect you to do is never reuse a CV when you're applying to any job. We are going to teach you how do you structure your CV and tailor it down to each job they are going for. This is after we've done the CV for you, we'll teach you how do you tailor it down subsequently to all the jobs they are going for. And this is what differentiates you from every other person. And after that, we scrape different job boards and provide you with the links to the jobs there. Whether it's cybersecurity that you are in, we provide you with cybersecurity jobs. Data analytics, we provide you with data analytics jobs. So we scrape different job boards that ranges across several different places. We work remotely, Remote OK, Remote.co, Indeed, Wellfound, Glassdoor, FlexJob, and of course, LinkedIn. We scrape different jobs from all these portals and provide them for you. But the responsibility of applying to them rests solely on you. The responsibility of applying to these jobs rests solely on you. And this is where people drop the ball. Our success rate as of today is standing comfortably at 94%. 94% success rate, which means out of 100 people that come into our program, 94 get to move on to go then. Now, this -6 that is dragging us back, where are they dropping the ball? The learning is the same. The packaging is the same. The application is where we now hand it over to you. We scrape different job boards, provide it to you. Now, some people do not tailor their CVs down to the specific job that they're going for. That is -1. Some people do not even apply to those jobs. That is -2. So once you fall into that bracket, you are going to continuously drag us down. And please, I beg you, if you are not ready to put in the work, there's no need coming into analytics. Okay? If you are not ready to put in the work, there is no need, because we are going to give you enough. The question now is, are you willing to actually go that route? Okay? So remember what I said? It's simple. Learn, package, and apply. Once you walk through these different brackets, you are going to land that job that you are looking for. Okay? We have people that have been able to go through this route. We have Evelyn. Evelyn used to be a nurse. She transitioned to data engineering. Okay? John used to be a medical doctor. He transitioned to data analytics. Tony used to be a pharmacist. She transitioned to data analytics as well. This is to show you that if you are coming from the science background, because what I try to do is everyone here, they are coming from science background. You have a place in the tech ecosystem. And then people coming from the arts background, Temi used to be a lawyer. Today, he's a business analyst. All right? Ngozi used to be a customer service rep. Today, he's also a business analyst. Abigail used to be a care worker in Saskatchewan, Canada. And today, she's a business analytics manager. Right? So it is possible for you. And these people here are people coming from arts background. Then lastly, we have Ikmat. Ikmat always mentioned that she belongs in no background because she branded herself as, I am a full-time stay-at-home mom. But she was also able to break into tech. So whether you're in the science background, art background, no background at all, there's a career path for you. Whether you are in France, UK, US, Canada, Nigeria, Ghana, there's a career path for you. So that is what I've tried to show with all these different success stories. There are still a lot of success stories here, a lot of them. Okay, along the line, I'm still going to try and bring up one or two to also make us understand a couple of things. But please, let's make sure we fill the attendance form so that when you get the attendance form, you can use it to send a slide to you. You can go through all these success stories, get acquainted with them, and be able to, assimilate those success stories and see it for yourself. Like I said earlier, we have close to 3,000 people that have made this transition. We have over a lot of success stories that we may not be able to include here. So all you have to do is simply go through the slide and you're going to see every single one of them. But the last question before we round up for today, which is where I'm going to explain all the different career paths, is now this. What skill must you have to land a job? So I'm going to try and explain every single one of those career paths. I'm going to be as fast, as brief as possible so that we also get to understand it, okay? And get to know what it entails. Please, let's listen attentively. First one is business analysis. Business analysis. Who exactly are these guys? So business analysts are simply professionals that come into organizations to improve their processes and make it better. Okay, they are responsible for making sure that information flows seamlessly between the technical staff and the non-technical staff. That's between the data scientists, data engineers, software developers, and the CEO, CTO, COO, and all the C's that you can think of. And this is because they are heavy on communication. And that's why you're seeing anyone that has communication-related career paths coming to business analysis. Anyone that has process improvement career path coming to business analysis, which means customer service guys, lawyers, IT auditors, because you can improve processes, enforcement officers, anything that you've done that involves improving process. This is the tech aspect of it, business analytics. And what exactly do you need to know? First thing you're going to be learning in the program is Excel, Power BI, and SQL. And this introduces you to data. Okay, this gives you understanding of data. Now, next one is for you to understand process mapping, project initiation planning, and also Agile and Scrum for projects. This is a borrowed course from project management. And then lastly, all this represents your core business analysis. And what this simply means is that a business analyst can pursue a career or can look for jobs in data analytics. A business analyst can look for jobs in product management, and a business analyst can apply to jobs on their core business analysis role. But for these other ones, business analysis, data and product management, there's need for some little personal development, because what you're going to be getting is borrowed courses from those career paths. But what we've seen over the years is that we've seen our own business analysts also landing roles in data analytics and also in product management. So if you are someone that you fall into this bracket of all those guys I've mentioned, you should be looking towards business analysis. If you do not like talking or speaking to people, please do not go to business analysis, because you are going to be constantly speaking to people, trying to elicit information. You can see that elicitation that I talked about, I think it was Tari, when you are trying to do enforcement, you're going to try to elicit information from people. I see it as part of the key learning areas in business analysis. So you're going to elicit information from people. You're going to understand requirements fundamentals and also stakeholder analysis and engagement. So all these things are all those transferable skills. They can easily see that you have one of them and then I'm building on them. So if you're someone looking to get into business analysis and you don't love talking, you don't love speaking to people, you don't like speaking to your colleagues, please run away. Business analysis is not for you. Okay, now next one is Agile project management. Now these guys are simply, we call this side of tech the no-code area in tech. No-code area. They are responsible for making sure that everyone in the business is working using the same methodology called Agile method. Now, what does Agile mean? Agile means increment. Agile means that you've broken down something into little, and you're achieving them in small portions. Okay? So it means that as an Agile project manager, you need to have leadership skill. So if you are someone that you've handled leadership before now, you've handled coaching before now, you have a lot of experience that you're matured in the industry that you are coming from, Agile project management will be for you. Because it's simply a place where you are not doing anything technical, you're simply using Agile method and coaching people, teaching them, making sure that they are all working using that same agile method. Okay. I know what we are also wondering is, have there been people that got jobs from this career path? Because these questions are going to come. Chukwemeka, which one will I do? And I will get job the fastest. This is it. Every single one of these career paths will have people that have landed jobs from them. Okay, Ramat used to be a customer success rep in UK. She joined business analysis, and today she's working as a business architect with the NHS with full visa sponsorship. All right. Same thing with Hope, like I said earlier. Okay, Hope is a project management officer, and she's working right now with Vestman in Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. So no matter any of them that you decide to go for, there is a career path there. There is job opportunity there for you. Most important thing is which one tilts towards your own transferable career path. I hope we all understand that two guys I mentioned now, business analysis and agile project management. I hope we all understood them. Now let's come to the data guys. Okay, data engineers. First, these people are very heavy on coding. So heavy coding is involved. Their responsibility is making sure that the architecture, the back end of all these systems are built. So that those guys that just be on their own, writing lines of code, trying to build up the architecture, the back end of those systems. So for data to flow seamlessly within the ecosystem, someone is responsible for building up the architecture. You know, when you are building a house, your plumber is responsible for making sure that the pipeline runs from your water source down to your water system, your tap, your shower, your sink, and several places. That is how data engineers also build pipeline to make sure that data flows seamlessly within the ecosystem. Okay, you're going to understand the introduction to data engineering, which is where you understand the data architecture and lifecycle management of data. Then you move on to SQL, structured query language. How do you work with databases? Then Python programming, and of course, Linux operating system. So you're not going to just be looking at Windows operating system and Mac operating system. No, they're going to move on to Linux. Okay, and then also building custom ETL pipelines. That is simply how do you extract data from a source, transform it in your IDE, that's your integrated development environment, and then load it to a pipeline. For instance, let's say you want to build a database for your company. You've gone to Jumia, you scrape Jumia. You've gone to your Google Colab. You've brought the data into Google Colab and you've transformed it. And then you've loaded it to your database. That what your office guys need to do now is just simply come to your, maybe their front end, click a button, and it's going to show them all the, maybe it's a clothes or a bag or anything that they want to see from Jumia and their prices. That's simply using extraction, transformation, and loading. Then Apache Spark and Apache Flow, how do you get to automate all these processes? Then cloud engineering, which is also an aspect of data engineering. You're also going to understand how do you work with GCP, how do you work with Azure, and also how do you work with AWS. Then lastly, version control for GitHub, as well as ChatGPT and Copilot. So you're going to be learning all these things that I have mentioned right now. Can someone do data engineering with no tech background, Musa? Yes, you can. But it requires a lot of effort from your side, Musa. I have one of the best data engineers I know used to be a pharmacist. In fact, we call him doctor. We call him doctor. He used to be a pharmacist, and today he's a data engineer. He transitioned entirely. Okay, so it is possible for you, but you need to bring out time, give it effort, and come into it. Of course, and you need to understand that coding is involved. Coding is involved, which means when the going gets tough, do not run away. Do not run away. Okay, so next one is Hassanatu is asking, how long does it take for one to learn a job after joining? Okay, so if you heard me when I was speaking, I mentioned that 2 months after you joined, we expect you to start applying to job because that is when we will be able to work on your CV and give it back to you. Now we expect to start applying to job that 2 months. Some land in 2, some land in 3, some land in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and even longer. At that level, it now depends on how badly you are applying to it. I'm going to play Vanessa's testimonial before we are done because she actually got a job, I think 1, 2 months within the program. And she's still on the program and she landed a job. Okay, I'm still going to play it along the line. Now, data scientists. So data scientists are responsible for simply analyzing the data, building predictive models to also help the business to improve. So they answer three basic questions. So if you heard when I was explaining nursing as a career path, you'll understand this. So they answer three basic questions, which simply stands for descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, and oh, and predictive analytics. And predictive analytics. And what does this mean? What does this mean? This simply means what happened. Descriptive means what happened. What happened? Diagnostic means why did this happen? And then predictive means what is going to happen in the future. So if you look at what they are also learning, statistics, forecasting and predictive analytics, Microsoft Excel, Tableau, and SQL. So all these first four tools prepares them to also work as a data analyst. So let's listen attentively. All data scientists can work as a data analyst, but not all data analysts can work as data scientists. I repeat, all data scientists can work as data analysts, but not all data analysts can work as data scientists. And this is simply why. You can see that the first four things that a data scientist is learning is statistics, forecasting, using Excel, Tableau, and SQL. And these are all data analytical tools. And then they now move on to Python programming, and then exploratory data analysis, machine learning, computer vision. Okay, and then they're not able to build predictive models using Python, using machine learning, and then computer vision. So what differentiates them is simply that a data scientist can utilize Python, computer vision, and also machine learning, which are now where the predictive models are built. Okay, so data science is slight on coding. Now, data analysts are simply professionals that come into business to help them make sense of their data, help them understand this is what happened from your data, this is why it happened, and this is what we should be doing. So first thing that they're going to be looking at is how do we solve a problem? So when you see data analysts building visuals, it's not just for aesthetic appeal. It's for them to be able to communicate information to the stakeholders. So first thing they understand is problem solving. And then move on to Excel, SQL, Power BI, and Tableau. And of course, how to tell a story. If you listen from beginning till now, you've been able to stay on this call because we are taking you on a story from level 1 to level 2, from point 1 to point 2. If we started this call and we just started saying, oh, data analysis, this is that and this one, there will be a lot of questions. But this is what you learn for being a data analyst. How do you tell a story using data from point 1 to point 2 so that your stakeholders are actually engaged and listening to you? All right. So data analytics is also a career path where no matter what you've done in the past, you've worked with data. No matter what you've done in the past, you've worked with the data. And most time, data analytics is the point of entry into tech. I hope that answers our questions. For anyone asking, oh, can I do data analytics? Yes, you can. Because no matter what you've done, either you're collecting data as a descriptive or you're collecting data in maybe in data formats or in alphabetical formats, they are all still data. And we have all worked with data in the past. And also looking at success stories, Idris got a full-time job with Jaguar Land Rover in the United Kingdom as a data engineer after his own training with us, as well as Abisola landed a role as a data scientist officer. In fact, they coined it machine learning engineer in the United Kingdom after she finished her own data science program. And also we have Biola. Biola landed a role from being an accountant to becoming a data analyst. He's working with one of the financial giants in UK as at now. So no matter the career path that you're getting into, there is a success story there because there are people that have been able to go before you, and there are people that have been able to get jobs in those career paths. Can you do it? Yes. And I'm trying to also bring all these different things that they've done so they can also be able to relate to it. You can see an accountant transition to data analytics and got a job in one of the financial giants. Now, we have these two guys. I'm going to explain two of them side by side. Financial analysts and HR analysts. And these are simply people that have specialized in a particular aspect. That data analysts that have specialized in a particular aspect. Financial analysts are data analysts that specialize in financial data, while HR analysts are data analysts that specialize in people data. You can see that the first 14 that this guy does is also understand problem solving, Excel, Power BI, and SQL, which is core data analytics. Then move on to accounting fundamentals, understand your three statements of accounting model, your balance sheet, your income statement, and your cash flow. So you understand it, and then your financial analysis, understand financial modeling, then valuation and sensitivity and scenario analysis. Okay? And all these things are what prepares you to become a financial analyst. I have someone who go through this institution working remotely with a UK company here in Nigeria. Oh, thank you so much, Joseph. That's a fantastic success story for us right on the call. Okay, please tell your friends to come and give us success story. Please, if we've helped them in the past, they should come to us and give us success story. Thank you so much for that, Joseph. And then HR analytics, there are also data analysts that specialize in people data. So you can see that the first thing that they're also doing, the first 14, prepares you to also function as a data analyst. They now move on to HR KPIs and performance evaluation. How do you actually know how to evaluate your employees? How do you track attrition and absenteeism? How do you build your pay equity and also your compensation analysis? Okay, so all these things are what you are going to be learning as well. Of course, we have Chika. Chika passed through the financial analytics program, and he is working as a financial analyst in the United Kingdom. We also have Amaka. Amaka is currently residing in Canada, and she passed through HR analytics, and right now she's working as a HR data analyst with SAS Energy in Saskatchewan in Canada. So every single one of these people, every single program right here, that is a success story. And I hope your own is going to be the next. Cybersecurity. But so far, I hope we are all following, please, so that I'm not speaking to myself. So I think I'm trying to be so fast. I hope I'm not speaking to myself. Please, are we all following? All right, thank you, Tari. Thank you, Samsung. Okay, I can see a couple of questions. I'm going to answer most of them if my colleagues are not able to finish them up before I come back to them. But I'm trying to just finish up the explanation, and I'm going to take all the questions, okay? Now, cybersecurity. These guys are responsible for protecting the system, our digital assets. But cybersecurity is somehow different from all the other career paths. And that's because cybersecurity has several aspects embedded in it. Okay, you have the blue team, you have the red team. Blue team is responsible for defense, while red team is responsible for attack. Okay, which means someone is defending the organization, someone is trying to attack the organization to know if the external guys that wear hoodie can penetrate their system. So that is why there are several layers embedded. But I'm going to walk you through what we do. So first thing that you're going to be learning is understanding your ISP, your information security principle, which is your CIA triad: confidentiality, integrity, and also availability of data, as well as understanding risk management. Risk management. So this prepares you to function as a risk manager. Then you are now introduced to network security, which prepares you to function as a network engineer. Okay, then from SOC roles down to this incident response and threat intelligence prepares you for SOC analyst roles. So you're understanding your SOC analysis, understanding your NTM, which is your network traffic monitoring, understanding how to detect threats and also how to respond to them, and also the threat intelligence lifecycle entirely. Then from this point downwards prepares you for what we call pen testing, which means you are going to be a pen tester. These guys are responsible for attack. Okay, you are going to gather your open source intelligence, know how to profile your threat actors, know how to, do your vulnerability scanning as well as your exploitation techniques. And then lastly, you have GRC, which is governance, risk, and compliance as an aspect of cybersecurity. You can see there are different layers under it. And for every single aspect of the programs that we offer, you are learning a tool that translates to it. Okay, how do you use Splunk to do your log analysis and function as a SOC analyst? How do you use Cisco Packet Tracer to do your network analysis? Okay, to run your network simulation. How do you use your Wireshark to also do your vulnerability scanning? So all these things are what you are going to be learning. Okay, so for all the programs that we have, you can see the success story for cybersecurity also. This is Adewale. He landed a job 60 to 80%. I think it was still in his fourth month when he landed a job in cybersecurity as a Microsoft technical advisor. Okay, so all these things are all possible. So for all these programs, like I've mentioned, it is for 8 months. Every single one that I've explained right now, they are all for 8 months. And the class holds on Saturdays alone. Now we have two classes, one in the morning and one in the evening, all in the West African time zone. 11 a.m. West African time and 6 p.m. West African time. Now, for people in Africa and Europe, the morning class is suitable for them because it's normal 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. For people in North America, Canada, US, the evening class is suitable for them because that should be around 10 a.m. Mountain Time or 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So what I expect you to do is to choose the one that works for you. So even if you live in US or live in Canada and you feel like 11 a.m. Watt is better for you, which should be around 4 a.m. for you to join the class, select that one. So what we've done is to be able to break it into regions so that we can be able to accommodate everyone from any region that they are coming from. Then on Thursdays, we have mentorship sessions. These are now where we have all those interview prep sessions, CV optimization, LinkedIn optimization, all those other employability ones. We handle it on Thursdays by 10 p.m. West African time or by 8 p.m. MST. Okay, so 8 p.m. MST should be around 3 a.m. West African time or 2 a.m. West African time. So you can see it's also two sessions. So if this week we're having one by 10 p.m. West African time, next week we're going to be having that same topic by 8 p.m. MST. So all this is to accommodate everyone, no matter the time zone that you are joining from. And the beauty of this is that all the sessions are always recorded. All the classes are always recorded. In fact, for your learning process, we have 4-factor authentication because our learning styles differ. You may be a slow learner, I might be a fast learner. So what we do is your facilitator is going to break it down as low as possible. And if after breaking it down as low as possible, you still do not understand it, we have what we call drop-in sessions that happen from Monday to Friday. Okay, you can select, you want to speak to someone by 9 a.m. or by 3 p.m. or by 5 p.m. And the facilitator is going to come back and have a revision class with you. Okay, this second factor authentication. Then also your classes are recorded that if you didn't understand anything, you can always go through the recorded version entirely for you to get abreast to it. Now, this is third factor authentication. Now, the fourth one, you also belong in a closed community where you can easily ask questions. Oh, Chukwuemeka, I was trying to do some if using Excel and I'm having this error. What do I do? And someone is going to be there to assist you. Okay, so every single touch point is simulated, is done in a way to assist the learner. Okay, and you have access to your facilitator, to your coordinator, to your technical associate to help you navigate all these different situations. Remember what I said? All the sessions are recorded and it's a lifetime access that you have, which means we had someone that said he had to go back to a class recording. That was 2 years after. Had to go back to his class recording to learn something that they wanted to implement in their company, which is why it is a lifetime access. Now, I know I've not explained DevOps. For DevOps engineers, these guys are like, that is a combination of software development and IT operations. So when you see DevOps, the representation is like an infinity loop. It's like this, where you have your dev here and you have your ops here. So what it simply means is that development, web development, software development, and IT operations integrated together. So this represents people that bridge the gap between software development and IT operations. Say they understand DevOps fundamentals, they understand Linux essentials, and then of course they have understanding of CI/CD foundations. Okay. Now many people think DevOps is all about CI/CD, but that's not it. Okay. It encompasses other things like containerization. We are even going to now understand how do you use Docker to compose for multi-container apps. Okay. And then you're now moving to your Kubernetes and also infrastructure as a code. And also how do you monitor? So DevOps is like you've built, you've developed, you've pushed it to IT operations. IT operations is now testing. You're now monitoring the usage. And if there's any issue, it's coming back to development. And development is now planning again, building again, and pushing again. So it's like a never-ending loop where consistently software development and IT operation marries together to make sure that the application is always up and running. So this is what you also get. For DevOps, now the reason why you are seeing it as a standalone, the class is just 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. West African time. We have to find a balance for people in North America and also for people in Europe. It's by 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. West African time. All right. And the learning timeline is also for 8 months, 6 months classroom learning, and then 2 months internship. Okay. And then lastly, we have product design. Now, product design is like the bridge between human need and successful products. So they're responsible for building the architecture of any software that you've seen. Okay. And anyone with understanding of visual communication, even if what your own understanding is, you know how to draw makeup, you are very good with drawing makeup. That is a great visual communication skill for you to tilt towards product design. You used to be a graphic designer. That's a great visual communication skill to tilt towards product design. Used to be an interior decorator, used to be an architect. Okay, all those people that understand visual communication, you know how to draw product design. Or you're also looking for an aspect of tech where there is no code at all, because product design is a no code area in tech. It's simply you combining user interface, user experience, as well as business needs, which means it doesn't stop at you designing prototypes that are visually appealing. You have to also factor in how does this make the customer to be enticed to move on from point one to point two. For instance, let me tell us a story. This slide that we're using for this conversation was done by a product designer so that we can be able to capture your attention from the beginning till this very end. Okay, how do you build an app that will capture such attention as well? These are product designers that always do these things. So you're going to understand US foundations and research, okay, understanding how to center your design to be human inclusive. Okay, you're going to conduct user research, you're going to create personas as well as define the problems that you are trying to solve. Then you now move on to your wireframes and visuals. This is where you're now building your prototypes and then where you're using Figma to bring these things to life. Then lastly, you're looking at your testing, your portfolio, and also AI in product design. You're conducting usability testing, you are doing your building and presenting your portfolio. You're also, using visual ideation for your mid-journey and also ideogram. So all these things are what you are going to be using to be able to become a product designer. You're going to be learning Framer, understand Figma, as well as Cloud, and also Notion. Now, product design is different from all the courses that we offer. The time is also 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. alone on Saturdays. Okay? And then the learning timeline is for 4 months. So everything I've explained is for 8 months, but product design is for 4 months. 3 months classroom learning, and then 1 month internship experience. Okay, 3 months classroom learning, and then 1 month internship experience. All these things is simple to make sure that you move into a career path that you have a transferable skill into. I hope we all understand our own different career paths now. And also, we can easily be able to say, oh, this is where I'm teaching to, this is what I'm going to learn, this is what it entails. And when you come into the program, you're going to be learning using our learning management system and also our Google Classroom, okay? Working on different projects, real life projects, okay, that is going to make sure that you have the experience that you need to land the jobs that you are looking for, okay? So all this tilt towards you being able to transition from where you are right now to the tech career path that you want to get into. So here comes the most important question. How can I start today? So I want to start today. How can I start? So our next cohort is starting on February 7th. So our next cohort is starting on February 7th. And for all these things I've mentioned now, our course is going for $1,200, but there's currently a 20% discount existing, which means you get to pay $1,000 and $800 subsequently for product design. Now, you don't have to pay it one off. If $200 every month, $20 every month, $20 every month. It is not one off. You can pay $200 now, and then the next $200 is in February, the next $200 is in March, the next $200 is in April. So all this has been broken down so that you can easily be able to pay it easily for yourself. Okay, so you don't have to pay it one off. It is easy. And then, no matter where you are joining from, ignore the dollar I'm calling. Okay, you are going to see the currency equivalent in your own location. So if you are joining from US, you're going to be seeing it in USD. If you are joining from Canada, you're going to be seeing it in CAD. If you are joining from Nigeria, you're going to be seeing it in NGN. So how can you actually secure your spot? So once you click on the link that my colleagues are dropping, it's going to bring you to this page, all right? So all you have to do is to select the course that you want to go for. All you have to do is select the course that you want to go for. Let me use data analytics to explain. So once I click on this data analytics, buy now, it's now going to bring me inside data analytics where go through it, understand what it has to say, and simply click on enroll now. So once I click on enroll now, it's now bringing me to the point where I can now register to enroll. As simple as that. So what I have to do at this point is simply put my name. So my name is simple. My name is Chukwuemeka Eba. Put my email address. So for you, please ensure that you use your actual email address, but I'm going to use a temporary email address to demonstrate this. So once you do that, put your name, put your email address, and then your phone number. And once you are done, simply validate that you've read terms and conditions and click on create an account. So once you click on that create an account, it's going to create the account instantly for you and bring you to the point where you can now decide how you want to make your own payment. So you can see that first thing is going to ask you is, do you want to start your own cohorts in February or do you want to start in March? So you have the option to decide when to start. You can secure your option now in January, but instead of starting in February, you are deferring to start in March. Okay, you are deferring to start in March. Anyone that works for you, simply click on it. So I've selected February. It's not asking you, do you want to make full payments? Do you want to pay in 2 installments or in 3 installments or in 4 installments or 5 installments? Anyone that works for you. But if you decide to go one off or in 2 installments, there's an extra discount for you of $25 roughly. Okay, but if you want to go for the 5 monthly installments, simply click on the 5 monthly installments and click on apply discounts. So once you do that, it's now going to bring you to this page where all you have to do is simply to validate your information and then secure your spot. So you can see it's showing my name, Chukwuemeka Eba, my email address, my phone number, and then it's now showing how my payments has been structured. First payment, January 10th, $200. Next one, February 10th, 200. Then next one is March 12th. Next one is April 11th. And then last one is May 11th. So you can see how it has broken it down into 5 different installments. Let's assume that you want your own payments to be going off at the ending of each month because maybe your income doesn't come in the middle. You want it to come at the end of each month. Simply click on this edit date. You have the option to structure it anyhow you want. Click on edit date. Let's say you want your payment to be going off every, let's say every 27th of every month. So I've selected 27th and I click on save. So you can see that it has changed. My first payment is still going to go out today because I'm trying to secure my spot today. And then my second payment is now February 27th. Now, third payment, March 29th. Fourth payment, April 28th. And last payment, May 28th. So this is how it is structured for ease of payments, how it is easier for you. Okay, so once I've done that, I'll confirm that my information is correct, go through the terms and conditions again, and simply click on Pay Now. So once you click on Pay Now, what you have to now do is simply use your debit credit card to make the payments. So I'm going to also show us how that can be done using this. So simply put your details. For me, this is my details. Feel free to copy my details. I promise you it is going to fail because this is a developer account. So this is my details. I'm trying to make payments. All right. And then this one next, my CVC. I'm also going to put it. The name on the card is Chukwemeka Eba. So I'm simply going to put it and click on pay. So once I do that, it's going to now deduct the payment from my card. Now, like I mentioned earlier, the pricing is dependent on the location that you are joining from. So if you are joining from Canada, you're going to see the pricing in card. If you're joining from Nigeria, you're going to see the pricing in NGN. If you're joining from Germany, you're going to see it in euros. If you're joining from Ghana, you're going to see it in cedi. So no matter your location, it gives you the equivalent of it in your own local currency. So once you are done making payments, all you have to now do is simply click on Go to Dashboard. So at this point, you need to verify that it is actually you. So go to your email address. We've sent you a verification email. Once you go to that email address, simply look for the verification email. This is mine. So I'm looking for my verification email. Once you get that verification email, that is all you need to verify your email address and have access to the LMS instantly. So I'm trying to get my own verification email so that I can be able to access the LMS and be sure that I am the one that made that payment. So verification successful. My verification email is 559891. 559891. So I simply come back to that page and put 559891. I hope that was it. 559891. 559891. Yes. So once you put it, simply click on verify. Once you are done verifying your email, it is going to bring you into the LMS, and that is the learning management system that you are going to be learning with. Okay, and in that LMS, the only thing that you're expected to do at that very moment is just go through the LMS. There are some onboarding questions that you need to understand. Okay, we need to understand who is your facilitator, who is your coordinator, and several other things. Okay, but before then, you need to ask you a couple of questions to know if you want to go for morning class or for evening class. So to ask you your country of residence, simply put your country of residence and that. So let me put my own. So it's going to ask you your country of residence. Simply put your own country of residence, your gender, which is simply, of course, I'm a guy. Please indicate my preferred time. So because my time zone in US is roughly hours ahead of West African time, the evening class would be better for me because that would be around 10 a.m. Mountain time, Eastern time rather. I'll now select 6 p.m. So this one is now entirely for us. Please make sure that you also tell us this because it's also okay for us to know how you found out about us. Okay, how did you find out about us? Through Instagram or anywhere? And then alternate email address. If you have a different email address that you want to use, please also provide it here. If you have a referral code, also put it. If you want to tell us what made you to register, please ensure that you tell us so that we can also be able to tailor this course better for people. And also communicate to us how much time you can commit weekly. So this allows our people to know how constantly they can be reaching out to you to know, oh, Tari, you've not done this. Oh, Chukwemeka, you've not done that. Oh, Samadin, you've not done that. And once you're done with this, simply click on complete setup. And then you have access to the LMS immediately. So this is your learning management system where you are going to be learning. But before then, you need to complete your to-do checklist. And this is now what you can do in your own spare time. You have to, first of all, go through the welcome video, understand your class etiquette and communication, because some people come into the class and they are being, somehow to their co-learners. So we try to also communicate class etiquette and how you get to communicate to people. How do you install the materials that you're going to be needing? Who is your cohort lead? Who is your facilitator? And then also, how are we going to support you? Then lastly, you have to complete the readiness quiz. So once you are done with this, all you have to now do is just complete your onboarding. And as simple as that, you have access into our program already. So I think this is the point where I take all the questions that we have. So please, if you have any question, feel free to use the raise hand icon or drop it in the comment section, and I'm going to answer every single one of them. Okay, I'm going to answer them. Please, can the recorded video be sent to us who came late to this meeting? Eloho. Yes, Eloho, please make sure that you fill the attendance form. Okay, once you fill that attendance form, we're going to be using it to send the recorded version of this class and also the slide that we're using for this class to everybody. Okay, I hope that answers your own Eloho. What if we can't afford this amount now? Is there a number we can? In fact, to have a discussion, I didn't want to do this, but can't afford up to that. Now, given my particular circumstance. Tari, this is actually a good question. All right, so the truth is that this is our program right now. We've updated a couple of things. If you were following us before now, as of last year, this program was going for $750. It was going for 750, where it was 150, 150, 150, 150. All right, but right now, there are some improvements that have been done. There are some new initiatives that's also updated. And right now, it is discounted to 8,000. And this is the best that we can actually do. All right, this is actually the best that we can do. What I'll advise you to do is to try and look for a different possible instrumental plan that can work for you. Okay, so what I advise you to do is look for a way, once you secure your spot, that first instrumental option. The other ones, you now find subsequent ways for you to be able to achieve it. But as of now, this is the full amount for all our courses. Okay, Ayodeji is asking, have you registered for cybersecurity and now discovered that you more at an advantage with HR analytics and data? How can one learn this skill under registered cybersecurity? Ayodeji, it is not possible. All right, so I'm sure that the person is trying to, it's not possible. I'm not going to try and sugarcoat it. It's just like you saying that you've gone to university to learn medicine. And then while you're learning medicine, you also want to understand how to be a lawyer. It can't function. The only way it can work is for you to finish reading one and then go to the other one and then start reading it also. There's no merger. Okay, and this is one biggest mistake that everyone makes in tech. For instance, I can comfortably be able to speak about all these different career paths because it's a career that has been built for over 10 years. Okay, so myself that have built this for over 10 years and I've journeyed through different career paths, and you that's trying to come in, it can't be the same. You have to start from maybe cybersecurity that you've registered from, master it, get a job. Now, on that job, consistently, you are now upskilling, learning the other things, learning to data analytics, learning different financial analytics, and then becoming a thought leader in that ecosystem. But at that very beginning, you can't be a thought leader. And this is one major mistake that people make. Today, you are learning cybersecurity. Tomorrow, you are learning data. Next one, you're learning business analysis. You're not going to arrive at any point. So first thing that you have to do is choose that first career path, learn it, land a job, and then consistently, you are now upscaling to be able to get into the one that you want to get. Why is analytics not doing programs like AI automation? Fantastic question also. Now, the reason why we're not doing it right now is because there are several changes that's still currently going on. All right. Today, we are using a tool like N10. Tomorrow, we're using a different tool. So there's not been a static approach right now. And that is why we're not yet offering it as a full-blown course. Okay. What we're doing right now is we are doing a simulation using it. But I promise you, in the next 2-3 months, we're going to have it as a course. Because if you notice, DevOps and product design, there are also new courses that we just added. Okay, so every single quarter, we are reviewing our catalog. We are seeing how is the economy moving. For instance, between 19th and 27th of January, the World Economic Forum for 2026 is going to convene again. Now, after that convention, we're going to look at the aftermath, which career paths are going to rise, where is the world tilting to, and then look at programs that will answer all those questions. So we have to make sure that all our career paths answer questions that careers available career paths jobs-wise out there, validate World Economic Forum that it is going to be relevant in the next coming years, and then also be relevant in all the major countries, United Kingdom, US, and also Canada. So that is why at this very moment, we are still not offering AI automation. But I promise you, in 2-3 months, it is already in pipeline. Please, if someone registered for the morning session but missed a class, can she still join the evening session from Nigeria? Pina colada, the answer is no. Now, the reason is this. If you join these two different classes, you are going to be more confused. Let's assume in my class, in morning class, everyone there, they are all slow learners. And evening class, most people there, they are fast learners. And then you missed morning class, and then you decide to go to evening class. By virtue of them being fast learners, they may have moved further than where you guys were in the morning class. So the program is not designed to move at a certain pace. It's designed to move at the pace of the people in the class. So if you're in morning class and it's slow, and you miss a class, decide to join the evening class that is fast, there is tendency that they've left you behind. And that singular switch is going to make you to misunderstand more. Okay, it's going to make you to misunderstand more. So and that's why we've placed that 4 different authentication, 4 different factor authentication. If you missed a class, within the week, you can call on your facilitator to say this. Okay, first, if you miss a class, you have the option to go through the entire videoed recorded version of the class. If you didn't understand it, you can join the revision class that happens, book a time where your facilitator will also be there to revise with you. And then before classes also happen every week, the old classes are revised. Okay, and if you have a question also, you can always ask it in the community and someone is going to be there to answer your question. Okay, I think there's a lot of questions around why is product design shorter than all courses? Why is product design shorter than all courses? Okay, so like I said earlier, if you've been following our journey, when we started even all these other courses, they were going for 3 months. Elongating the duration. Okay, for product design, we just started it this year. Okay, it's a program that we are just offering it. Now, at the initial offering, it's not going to be for 8 months. So we are gradually going to now, start it up. Because consistently, things are going to be coming in. We're going to be improving on it. So that is why it is for 4 months. Okay? Because for now, what you need to get into product design is understand how to use Figma. So it's not like data analytics where you are going to learn Excel, learn Power BI, learn SQL. No. So it's simply understand how to use Figma. Once you understand how to use Figma, you can easily be able to become a product designer. Okay? But subsequently, there are different things that is going to now be coming in. For instance, we recently added Framer. Framer is an AI tool. And all these additions, with time, people are going to start complaining, oh, 4 months is not enough. And that's where we now start increasing it to other months. In fact, by next month, we are already looking at also increasing the amounts and also increasing the duration. So it's important that you're looking towards that career path for you to also be able to take advantage of it right now and get into it. Are we paying an exam fee? No, you are not paying any exam fee. In fact, when you are done with the program, we are going to provide you with a certificate. Okay. We're going to provide you with a certificate. Once you are done, you've completed your capstone, and this certificate is fully accredited by the American Council of Training and Development, ACTD, showing that we are actually recognized globally. And it's actually a certificate that can always be able to present. But remember what I said earlier, in the tech ecosystem, it is competence over credential, which means you need to have the skill. And then your certificate is just like a validation of that skill that you have. How many students do you have on real life projects at a time, iPhone? Now, iPhone, it's dependent on the projects that we are working at each particular time. Okay, for instance, if yesterday we are doing a contractual role for a company in Ghana and people are also working on that contractual role, it also depends on if it's tilting towards data analytics or data science. Okay, but consistently, we have real life projects that people are working on. And remember, we have experts coming to teach you all this, and they're also coming with the projects of where they are presently working in. I hope that answers your question, iPhone. So I think I've scrolled all the way up. I've registered for February, and can one have the materials to familiarize himself? Samsung, remember, it is a real life class. Okay, it's a live class. But if you go through your LMS, you're going to notice that there are some videos that you can watch on week 0. Please go through your LMS. You're going to see those week 0 videos that you can watch. So all those materials is going to help you to familiarize yourself. Okay. Charles is asking, do we have to write qualifying exams after the training? And if yes, who is responsible for the exam fee? So Charles, for all this program, there is no qualifying exam. In fact, the ones that have qualifying exam possibly is cybersecurity and business analysis. Because for cybersecurity, some people are still looking for, oh, you need to have CompTIA++, or you need to have CISA, or you need to have CSM. There are several courses out there, examinations out there. For business analysis, there is CBAP. For agile project management, there is PSM, there is PMP rather. So there are different accreditation bodies out there. And it is now your sole responsibility for going there. But remember, those are like validations of the skill that you have. If you heard when I was talking earlier, Hope already have PMP certification, that's project management professional certification, but she doesn't know how to use Jira. So even with her certification, she had to come back to us and we train her on how to use Jira. So what we are specialized on is your skill and experience. Okay, certification is what you can decide to pursue on your own. And in the core tech space, nobody cares about your certificate. It's just a validation of the skill that you already have. Okay, Pina Colada, if someone registered for the morning session, but okay, I think I've answered that question before. Okay, I think, please, can the record version? Okay, yes. What if you can't afford this amount now? Is there a number we can? I can promise you that this is the list that you are possibly going to see this program this entire year. If you're in US, UK, or Canada, you're going to know that programs like this go way higher than this amount. It goes way higher. Does this measure would like this back that you can want this about during this program? So, Tari, like I said, certifications are purely theoretical based. Our base is not in anything theoretical. It's purely for you to know, how do you work as a business analyst? What tools do you need to function as a business analyst? CBAP is not going to teach you how to use Power BI. It's not going to teach you how to do process mapping. It's not going to teach you how to do elicitation. It's simply going to tell you, oh, read this, read that, and come and write an examination. So it's entirely different, okay? And there are different diets of things that you have to read to pass certification exams. That is entirely perfect. And I can tell you, in the tech ecosystem, these certifications are just secondary. The primary thing is always having the skill. So if you're looking to get into cybersecurity, you need to have the skill, understand how to do all these things, land a job. On the job, you're now writing certifications exam to improve yourself and be able to possibly use it to climb into leadership roles. But at that initial point of employment, nobody's coming to tell you, oh, for me to employ you, you need to have CBAP. No. What they always look out for is, do you have the skill to use all those tools to function on the job? Okay, so this discount is actually not for everyone. It's just for the first 20 people to secure their spots. Okay, first 20 people, and then the discount is entirely off, the price will go back to the 1,200 and also 8,000. Sorry, the full amount for product design is actually 8,000. So please ignore this. It's actually 8,000 and then discounted to 800. It's 8,000 and then discounted to 800, while others are 8,000 too and then discounted to 8,000. I hope we all understand. Adeola, your hand is up. I'm going to ask you to unmute. Please go ahead and ask your question, Adeola. Hi, Adeola, are you there? I've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead and ask your question. Hi, Adeola, I've asked you to unmute again. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hi. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Adeola. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I was wondering, this discounts, does it just apply to February cohorts?
All right, fantastic question. Now, the truth is that it's actually at this very moment applied to February cohorts. If by let's say within January, we are seeing the programs or for the offerings that we do, that there is improvement in the economy or the economy is declining, there's tendency our price is going to go up. Okay, so our price is always matching how the economy is moving. Because our facilitators that we bring in from expert companies are going to come and say, oh, this is how the economy is moving. I don't want this anymore. Give me this. Okay, so all those things play a strong role. So I always advise people to secure their spot at the point where they meet the program. Always try to secure that spot. Like I said, last year, December, if not even last year, yesterday, this program sold for as little as 600. Okay, because there was a discount existing. But today, it's selling at 8,000. So that is why I always mention to people, secure your spot if you can immediately. Because once the economy is shifting, we always react to it. We're not going to try and say, oh, we're going to do this. We've done our own discounts. Now, the only option that happens is that within the year, sometimes we have some VCs that come together to mention, oh, we're trying to discount this for a lot of people more, and then it can happen. But it's not an assurance. It depends on how often these venture capitals always come to infuse funds. So when they do, there's tendency. But when it doesn't happen, our price only have the possibility of going up. Because, for instance, if these 20 spots are filled in each program now, if you come back, let's assume the 20 is filled today. If you come back to that same course, what you're going to be seeing is 8,200. It means that you're going to now be paying 250, 250, 250, 250. So that's why I always advise, try and secure your own spots as fast as you can. Will there be a different cohort session in March, April, June, and July? Yes, Francis. So we start new cohorts every first Saturday of each month. We start a new cohort every first Saturday of each month. But the pricing may not be the same. Progressively, as we enter the year, we react to how the year is, we react to how everything is flowing. Okay, but remember, you have the option to secure your spots now, but instead of starting in February, you're going to defer that you want to start in March. So you have that option, which means that you've bought the product at this already existing price, which means if there's any price change going into March, it is not going to affect you. I hope that answers your question, and I've been able to answer everyone's question. Please make sure you fill the attendance form so that we can send this slide and also the recorded version of this conversation to you. So in case you have any further question, you can go through it. If you have anything that you want to understand, you can go through it and be able to assimilate every single one of them. There's a second offer for first 20 people to secure their spot today. We always have an exclusive session on Tech Nation endorsement, which is how do you go about your tech talent, global talent visa. So we have this exclusive option for people. Okay, and this is for first 20 people to secure their own spots today. Blessing is asking, how can I secure it now? Daniela Arafat, please let's drop the link for Blessing. So Blessing, with the link that my colleagues just dropped now, once you go through it, you're going to click on it, have access to our own base, our course catalog, choose the one you want to go for. And you can see it's just easy. It's easy. And if you still have issues, please feel free to reach out to fill the attendance form so that you have access to all these numbers here. You can reach out to our Canadian guys, our Nigerian guys, our UK lines. They can also email us at enquiries or at admissions@analytics.io. Hope that answers your question. Okay, so consistently, we're also looking to improve ourselves. Last year, we got into Dohe EdTech Accelerator Program, and it's just with one aim. How do we also expand our offering? How do we improve what we are doing and be able to optimize our already built processes and the products that we're giving to the global community? Last 2 years, we got into the Our Better Capitalizer program in Canada with one singular aim: how do we support more people to be able to break into tech? So consistently from our own side, we're also improving our processes, our offering for us to be able to do better for everyone. If I register for data engineering, can you assist in visa job sponsorship? So Osarunwe said, if you listen to everything that we conversed, we assist you with jobs that you can apply to. All right. We assist you with jobs that you can apply to. We teach you the skill, we package you, and then scrape different job boards and provide you jobs that you can apply to. But the responsibility of applying to job rests solely on you. We don't give visa sponsorship, but we have sessions on how can you go about applying some of these jobs. Where do you even get to see jobs that are going to sponsor you? Okay, sometimes these jobs are interwoven in a way that it may not even come as a visa sponsored role. It can come as a contract service. But once you've been able to show value that initial time, the sponsorship comes. Okay, so but for us to now say we are going to give you visa sponsored jobs, I don't own all the jobs that is outside there. Osari said. I hope that answers your question. So every single thing that you can see on my slide now, they're all success stories of people that have been able to do this before you. You can see it is a lot. Okay, it is a lot that we may not be able to touch every single one of them. A lot of people. So what I always advise people is fill the attendance form, take your time, go through every single one of them, try to connect to someone's story and hold on to it and try to transition into tech from there. Remember what I said earlier. The easiest way to break into tech is to identify your transferable skill into the tech space and transition from there. Once you identify it, you learn, package, and you apply. I know we are looking at the financials right now. These are secondary. Trust me, like I said earlier also, it's not even like we are looking for these things. Because if you're not willing to put in the effort, you've already missed out. Securing the spot is the easiest thing that you can do. Where the job comes is you showing up every single Saturday. You showing up every single Saturday, you consistently learning with us every single week and being able to improve yourself. Once you're able to go through that journey with us, trust me, your own success story is going to be what we are going to have on this slide next. I have 13 years in information technology and I also have AWS cloud pursuing. Can I go into data engineering? 100% for Sarun Wese, 100%. So why I'm giving you that is because data engineering has an aspect of it also under cloud, where you learn AWS, also learn, where am I missing my thoughts? Yeah, you also learn Azure, AWS, and some other tools there also. Okay, so you can clearly get into data engineering or Sarun Wese. All right, please, for someone who doesn't have the finances to start now, can this person start whenever the money is available? Yes, be some miracle. So we start cohorts every first Saturday of the month. Okay, so after February 7th, our next cohort is going to start possibly March 5th and then April 8th, depending on when the first Saturday falls in. But then the pricing may not be the same. It's just like today, a friend of mine wanted to buy, it was a funny story, he wanted to buy a Toyota Venza 2021. And he wanted to buy last year and he was pricing and trying to get it. But his money wasn't complete. He said, look, I'm going to come back in January. And he came back in January when the money for the initial one was complete and the price has moved. So that's why I always mention to people, the easiest way to make a purchase is to secure your spot. Make sure you plant a seed. Make sure you give that first instrumental option. It means that even if the price fluctuates, it's not going to affect you because you've secured your spot. So for B-Song, that's the advice I would advise you to do. That's what I would advise you to do, to look towards securing your spot and then moving up from that cadre. Okay, so I think there is no other question here. Please, my hands have... Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm going to ask you to unmute now. I did not see it. Sorry. Please go ahead and ask it to unmute now.
Okay, good evening, Chukemeka. Thank you. It's very resourceful session. I've been complaining about the cost because actually the advert I saw on Facebook said 600, and that was why I came on. But honestly, I'm even really convinced. But genuinely, I'm not working because I cannot work now. Personal things I can't talk about. And I don't know why the price is not different, or if it was just an advert, or if it was just like
All
another
right.
cause. And I really want to sign up now, but I can't even afford that $200 now. But I know it's something that it's just unfortunate, but I decided to talk because I know I really want to do it and I don't need to be shy about it.
All right. I love what's it called? I love a transparent conversations, right? So I know resources on there, which is why on this call also I mentioned that if you've been following us, as at yesterday, this program sold for 600. As at yesterday, it sold for 600. So all through December, not even December, all through October to to yesterday, this program sold for $600. All right, clearly $600. And we also mentioned all through that program that come January 10th, the price goes up again. So this is what is always happening. For instance, right now, we are mentioning, okay, once the 20 spots are filled, the price goes back to 8,200. Now, someone is going to come back when the price has gone to 8,200 and say, oh, but he told me 8,000, which is why I always advise people, genuinely, it's important to secure these options. Immediately you see them. So I'm not going to say that it didn't sell for 600. For instance, let me try and show because I'm joining with my tablet so that we can actually be very, very transparent here. So let me try and show my tablet so that we can also see what I am seeing on our Instagram page. So if you go through our Instagram page, what you're going to see is entirely different. So, okay, so if you go to our Instagram page, you see right now, this is what you're going to see. Okay, so we have been communicating this forever. So it's not like we just wake up once and say, okay, this is what we want to do right now. So this is how we have been communicating since October. The price is 8,200. Once it's over, once it comes to November 10th, the price is changing because we had a couple of VCs that came together and sponsored something for us within that region. But once they remove their hand, we can't function with that anymore. So that's why I always try to be as straight, as sincere as we can be. So it's not like it didn't go for a 600, it did, but it was for a period. Just like right now, it is going for 8,000. And after that, the price goes back to 8,200 also. I don't know if that makes sense to everybody because I can see a couple of people are already saying, oh, I also saw it, I also saw that. So all these are what we always do. Okay, I hope that makes sense to Tari and also to Pina Colada because we try to be as transparent as we can be. Okay, but also it's not within our power. It's not within our power actually because we, like I mentioned earlier, we always have people that come in to make all these things happen. And once they've removed their hand, we can't go back and say, oh, please come back. And there are some people that are here. It's not within our power. If it's within my own power, it is something that we are going to do. But it is not within anyone's power. And that's why consistently we always try to communicate these things. Okay. I hope this makes sense, everybody. Trust me, by next month, we're going to have these conversations around this $8,000 as well. Okay. So I would advise you to try and secure your spots now because genuinely, once that 20 spots are also filled, the price is going to go up and it's not within anyone's. In fact, it is automated. It is automated. Immediately it's clocked at 12 midnight yesterday. If you go to our website, everything is instantly changed to this pricing. And that's how once these 20 spots are also filled, everything instantly goes back to 8,200. So it's not within anybody's power. It's already tech automated and we can't really control that. I hope that answers every questions that we all have. Okay, I think this is where we draw the curtain for today. This is supposed to be a 2 hours conversation, but we've had 2 hours, 40 minutes. So thank you all so much for listening to us for 2 hours, 40 minutes. Our advice was that 2026, there's a lot of technological changes that is going to happen. The best thing to do is to position yourself to grab them. once it starts happening. There's no two ways about it. This is the best time for you to actually break into tech. Thank you all so much on behalf of our founder, Adeza Suleiman, our co-founder, Exponent Pro. I say a very big thank you to you for joining us in this session. And my colleagues, Elijah, Daniela, Arafat, that made this session to be a successful one. A very big thank you to you also. And to you that listened to us for the last 2 hours plus, you are a champion. Remember, the best time to break into tech is yesterday. The next best time is today. Cheers, everyone, and let's have a wonderful day, wonderful afternoon, or wonderful night's rest, depending on where we are journeying from. Bye for now.